Welcome, race fans, to another Wednesday night Freaky Fast broadcast. Tonight, we are set up at the Worldwide Technology Raceway for the Wicked Racing League, sponsored by Buttkicker. Feel what you've been missing. This is for the RevStem Shop 200. Again, Worldwide Technology Raceway, or maybe more commonly known as Gateway Raceway from some of you more experienced drivers and racers out there. This is Carl Pooler up in the booth with Zach Hall and Robert Moyer, as always, behind the controls of everything you see. And tonight, Zach, we have 200 laps here at this 1 mile, really odd-shaped track. What can we expect tonight?
Well, it's going to be, you took the word odd. Well, that's a great way to describe it with the adjective here, as this track is very, very odd when it comes to not only the shape, but the way you have to race and how these drivers really have to use their techniques to get around this racetrack. And I almost somewhat compared it to a road course, just a very, very tough technical track that includes shifting, braking, and all the things that you need at a road course. So just only turning left, but it is definitely going to test these guys' true abilities here tonight. As race number 6 here at Gateway is going to be a fun time here tonight for 200 laps. So going to have a lot of time for these drivers to figure it all out.
A lot of time indeed. And as usual, ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 stages, 2 stage breaks in the race. The first will occur at lap 50. The second will occur at lap 100. And then the final third stage will be a full 100 laps. I've been talking around the pit box, as it were, and I'm hearing that the stages are going to be really towards the edge of this fuel window. So strategy is definitely going to be an issue as we see a couple of cars. Not only is that going to be an issue, but we're going to have traffic left and right. And you see the really narrow straightaways there, Zach. That just really complicates things when cars get loose there out of 2 and 4.
That it does. I mean, this track can known to be very, very devastating. I mean, you got the front straightaway where you got the inside wall with pit lane and the outside wall very narrow there. So when a wreck does happen, not a lot of room to go. On the back straightaway, you do have the grass option to go down there. That is always an interesting, possibility. Is it's always like driving like ice down there on that grass. So no grip there. But you also see right here as you head down the back straightaway with last week's winner there, TJ Roberts, that opening in the back straightaway. That's going to be an interesting point. Is see if anybody has any issues there too. So a very, very odd track here in St. Louis, Missouri, man. But I tell you, it's going to be a fun time. And it's going to be interesting to see who can, stamp their names in the books here to get themselves a win possibly here tonight. We've had a lot of interesting things play out this season. TJ Roberts having himself one win. Mason Halsman coming off the win at the road course there at Watkins Glen. You had Alex Coffey starting off the season at Dover with the win, and then the 2 in a row wins from Gavin Rodgers. So it's been a pretty mixy, I'd say, so far. Start of the season, but it's going to be interesting to see if anybody can start to close that gap down in the points, because it's 51 right now, all the way to our points leader, Gavin Rodgers, who's really had a spectacular first 5 races, all 5 in the top 5.
All 5 in the top 5, but he only went from 47 points to 51. So really, even though he did finish second place last week at Daytona, he only gained another 4 positions. And with multiple stages each and every week, there's plenty of opportunities for points, and especially at a track like this. And you kind of have to pick and choose your battles at this track. At Gateways 1 and 2 are much tighter of a radius, and you mentioned it earlier, Zach, is downshifting. We to hit on the fuel strategies, we see a car get sideways there out of 2. But tire strategy may be more important. A lot of drivers talking about ways and wondering how they can save that right front tire.
Going to be a key aspect, no doubt, indeed, here all night long. As you see it there at the top of the leaderboard, that's going to be the last seconds of practice here clicking away. And we're going to be heading into this qualifying session. And we always talk about track position. We sound like a broken record when you talk about track position, but it's such a vital thing when you talk about racing, and especially when you come to the Worldwide Technology Raceway, where passing is at a premium.
Passing at a premium, the track space isn't. This first corner, especially in a pack coming up to speed, everyone has their own braking points. With all these cars in a clump, all one on top of each other on these restarts, is going to add a lot of drama and a lot of bent fenders or later on in the runs as we're looking for stage points and just general finish. We saw 2 overtime sessions last week at Daytona. It's possible we can see that again tonight, but right now we are looking at the 18 of Blaine Wilson throwing down a lap, and he's got a shiny new paint scheme instead of that red and black. Look like he's sporting a fun little Star Wars scheme, so interesting go for him this evening at Worldwide.
Yeah, that's for sure. Blaine, coming off an interesting run there at Daytona, had some great teamwork there with his teammates there at 2018 Racing. And right now, they're going to be trying to put it all together here tonight at Gateway. Here's he might have his first lap coming through this time here and be one of the first drivers to actually get a time lap on the board as he crosses the line. It's going to be a 34.163. That's a pickup from his practice session, but then Adam Buzzio comes storming in there at 34.040, and I know Buzzio, the talk around the town is he's been really enjoying this track, and he thinks this may be one of his shots.
And Buzzio, one of the 2 drivers in practice to hit below a 34-second lap. He and Gavin Rogers, of course, was the other one in practice. Right now, TJ Roberts throwing down a really solid qualifying lap of 33.993. So he's doing and going to be upstarted by the 17 of Gavin Rogers of 33.938. So these guys trying to get every ounce of that power of that car to the asphalt and get these cars around as fast as possible, because again, that track position is seemingly very important with such a narrow track to work within all these stages. You want to be able to avoid the incidents if and when they happen, and the only way you can try and do that, the better your odds is the further up you run. But we're going through a lot, everyone putting down a time. It looks like we have about 20 cars going to be on the field, so we may have a decently stacked field tonight. And again, that just means this qualifying session is going to be that much more important, Zach.
That it will be, Carl. And Gavin Rogers there with that great time, putting himself atop that board, and this could be his 3rd pole position of the season, 2 so far in the first 5 races, 1 coming at Michigan and then the other at Watkins Glen. So looking to take another pole position there, whereas he was able to convert that to a win there at Michigan, but unable to do it at Watkins Glen. Was able to get that 2nd spot, and looking through his stats, like I said, it's been amazing to see so far this season. All 5 top 5s throughout the first 5 races, but the big thing I take from that is all 3 of them were podiums. Also, as the very first race of the season, he would finish 3rd, and then from there, he's been either 1st or 2nd in every single race.
Winning races is great. Consistency is great, but when you're winning races consistently, you just know you're at the top of your game. And he is just trying to set the standard for the driving and the drivers here for the Wicked Racing League. He's just constantly up there. Doesn't matter the track, super speedway, short track, road course. Right now, he's doing it all, and he's doing it again here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. And as we are about a minute left here in this qualifying session, Zach, we have 50 laps, and that is going to really stretch the fuel. Do you foresee maybe some short pitting, maybe taking 2 tires at a track like this, or is this track just too abrasive and you really need those tires?
That could very well play out. The drivers could be looking to play that type of strategy. That's not something outside the realm here, because track position, again, is so vital here that tires, I don't think, are going to be too huge of a factor. And it really does matter about how long your green flag runs are. We got a 50-lap stage here coming up. If we have some cautions in between there, tires are not going to matter too much, in my opinion. But like you said, it definitely is going to be close on fuel with that 85% fuel tank, or 82% fuel tank, I must say, we have here tonight at Gateway. And it's going to be tough to see if they can really stretch that fuel to make 50. Cautions will help that case, though.
Cautions, you can almost always help in terms of fuel save and tire save, but we're watching D'Amico lay down a lap or 2, and that's going to round that out. So there's plenty of car 17 cars have put down a qualifying time, and that is going to actually wrap up our 2-minute qualify session. And right now, with Gavin Rogers on the pole with a solid lap, TJ Rogers himself was able to put down a really good sub 34-second lap as well. Adam Buzzio is going to take that third position with just barely over a 34-second at 34.040. Nigel Christensen with another good lap in fourth position. Jimmy Kubanek in fifth. Blaine Wilson in sixth. Ryan Thomas in seventh. Richard Wolsifer in eighth. Jamie Plord in ninth. Christian DeRoches is going to round out the top 10.
In the 11th spot, it's going to be Stephen T. Cole. 12th is going to be our winner from Watkins Glen there, Mason Hossman. 13th is going to be Stephen Borbell. 14th is going to go to Giovanni Perez Diamco. 15th is going to go to Johnny Shade. 16th is going to be Chad Bean. 17th is going to go to Ryan Harrison. 18th is going to be Alex Coffey. 19th position going to go to the 00 John Curtis. 20th is going to go to Mike Thomas. As that rounds out our field, as Revan Gear is our race control.
Revenger is our race control. Also, he is sponsor for the race tonight, of course, with the Rev Sim Shop 200. So, got to give a shout out to him. A lot of duties, a lot of things going on, but we have a grid situation going on right now, as we're about 30 seconds from at least them getting rolling here, Zach. And with all that's been transpiring so far early on, this is the sixth round of the actually points paying races. We're getting to see the field develop and see how the playoffs are showing up. The intensity, I feel, is about to pick up as well. A lot of these guys are focusing on points. So again, coming to the stage, we could see a lot of interesting strategy and a lot of interesting racing.
Yeah, we really could, man. Gateway is a odd track. We brought that up earlier tonight, and it's going to bring on some odd strategies, I think, and some odd plays for some drivers. So we'll see how it all works out right here on our front row, though. Gavin Rogers and TJ Roberts. Man, just momentum, I would say, from these two drivers. They were our top two finishers from last week, and Gavin Rogers, our points leader, and our last week winner, TJ Roberts here. That's a good looking front row. That's what we call momentum.
Oh, momentum and all the all that confidence as well. Momentum is one thing, but having that confidence to go, knowing, hey, I got that win, I can finish up there, I can race up there, really changes the whole dynamic, the whole attitude of these drivers. And these guys have been pushing each other. The past couple of races, they've kind of settled into a rhythm. They've been learning how to drive with each other. They've been pushing it, but it's been clean. Actually, Daytona, one of our most caution-filled races for this league so far. But you can't put that against anyone. Daytona is really hard, and it's a super speedway. But as we get going here for the Wicked Racing League at Worldwide Technology Raceway, you see Gavin Rogers there warming up the tires. Zach, this is going to be a fun night, and I'm glad to be up here with you and Robert to experience this and see these next gen cars go around this 1.25 miles. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, side by side going through turn 4. Pace car is going to make the hard left onto pit road. Field in the hands of the 17 of Gavin Rogers, and we are going green here for the Wicked Racing League at Worldwide Technology Raceway. 200 laps here at the Gateway.
And great start from our leader out front. That's Gavin Rogers. And right now, the 21 machine going to try to take the spot from that 3 of TJ Roberts off of 2. And Adam Buzzio going to have that position going down the back straightaway. But Roberts going to still be looking to the outside here, as he will get to the quarter panel as they head to 3.
And Adam Buzzio is going to take that inside line. He's going to clear him going into the corner. That 3 machine can't seem to get to the side of the 21. He's going to cut down in line. And as we see the field behind him, we saw that the 20 of Nigel Christensen, he was in the outside as well, and he has fallen back a couple of his positions. So already, Zach, we're seeing that low line being extremely dominant. But as these guys single file out, a lot of good, clean racing so far. No big incidents as everyone tries to discover what they have in their car and see what they have under the hood as we are weaving back and forth through turn 3. And looks like the 38 of Jamie Plord, I know he was confident, having maybe some momentum trying to get to the front, but right now he has a lot of traffic to deal with.
Yeah, he really does. He definitely felt confident. We heard the words from in chat, so we'll see what Plord can do as that 38 enjoys the Gateway racetrack here as they go through 1 and 2. This is going to be the majority of shifting you're going to see is down here in this corner. And You know, we have 5 sequential gears. Oh, there's contact back in the field. That may bring on a caution as they wreck across the back of the track, and there it is, caution out on the racetrack.
And that was between the 96 of Steve Cole and that 19 of Steven Borbell. Both of those guys needing a decent run to keep themselves in a positive position in the points. And we have a caution here, lap 4 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. So already, Zach, we've seen some, as they were trying to get settled in, a little bit of contact. And that turn 2, it seems to end so abruptly. That corner is so tight. You're trying to get that momentum. That just looks like someone's trying to push a little too hard and got a little too far to the outside.
Yeah, just a little bit too much, and even possibly just, you know, there's always an interesting case of, you know, when you're side by side with a driver, how much, you know, how close is that driver on the outside going to get to that wall? Some drivers don't elect to go all the way out to the wall and want to be a little bit more safe, keep a couple feet off that wall, and sometimes the driver on the inside can miscalculate that slide up into him. So right there, just a racing incident in my opinion back there in the back, and it's going to bring on an early caution here as these drivers, like you said, that inside there on that last restart worked very, very well. We'll see if that continues to be the case. Is kind of surprising because down there in 1 and 2, like I said, where the shifting majority of this track goes on, it's kind of a middle groove line. You don't really run that bottom unless you're trying to make a pass.
And that bottom line, it's so tight in diameter, you risk really spinning it out with, especially with the power that these cars have and the big gearing. You mentioned 5 gears instead of 4, having to shift down sometimes into 3rd gear to try and make a move down on the line and get that momentum off the corner. But 3 and 4 is a totally different monster. It's really long, really sweeping, but it is banked less. So just adding to the oddities of this track. Believe it or not, it used to be a drag strip. There's a road course in there, so this track can and will be just about anything it can to provide a great show for the fans.
That it will be, man, and it's got some great upgrades here in the last few years. And I mean, you know, recently just the NASCAR Cup Series itself came here and held a race, so Gateway definitely on the up as Worldwide Technology Raceway has been putting a lot of money and investment into it, and it's great to see the return back as they had a great crowd out there for that race. And you can see some very good racing here also, as it could be a little bit of beating and banging just due to how tough it is to pass.
How tough it is to pass, and the brakes. We mentioned earlier the braking zones, how much brake bias you get to the front tires, and that just makes it that much more difficult trying to save the tires as well while you're trying to preserve everything else in your car with another 19 other drivers kind of flying around you at some point in the race. So this track gets really congested really quick. We saw how everyone was really strung out, and then all of a sudden, in a blink of an eye, there was someone spinning down the back straightaway. That's just a testament of how tough this track really is, Zach. But as we get, looks like we have another. We're going to go another lap down here on the back straightaway under caution. And these guys, we mentioned wanting to save fuel. This is a way to do that: save fuel and save those tires.
Yeah, this could very well be that time to save that fuel. So these guys may be enjoying this caution time here to make them feel confident to get to that first stage here. Is, you know, also 4 sets of tires in pit road, so 5 total here tonight. Sets of Goodyear tires here for these drivers, so they're not going to be wanting to use those very sparingly, and they're going to be wanting to keep their track position. So I expect, even if we get a caution here, I'd say even 10 to 15 laps here down the road, we'll probably see a lot of guys still stay out.
Because of all that all-powerful track position, we saw there that incident happened further back in the pack. But if it would have happened further up here, these guys were kind of starting to get ready to move and have a lot of momentum as these guys are ready to grid up and ready to go. Lights out on the pace car. We have one more lap. But Zach, what does a short caution like that do? You just race a couple of laps, now you're slowing down, get ready to do it again. What does that kind of do for you as a driver sitting and getting ready for the screen?
Yeah, this, in my opinion, as a driver, always kind of, you know, it's, you know, they say pull back the reins on a horse, you know. It's kind of what you have to do with the race car driver. You know, you want to go so bad when these races start, just to get the nervous feelings out of the way and get confident. You know, that's where you feel the most confident, is when you're completing laps. These pace laps are always the most nerve-wracking time, and when you get an early caution just like that one there, that's exactly what these drivers are going to be thinking. It's just like that initial start, the nerves start to kick back in, and they just want to get it going. And sometimes it can lead to that aggression level picking up.
Well, I can guarantee you we are all getting ready and wanting to get it going, but here we go. Once again, pace car down pit lane, and the field in the hands of the 17 again, and here we go. And there it is, the launch by the 17, extremely delayed, waited for that restart zone, but there he is. And he lined up on that outside line, allowing Kubinek behind him. But that's going to leave the 21, Adam Buzzio, on the inside, under attack already by the 3 of Roberts. We see 38, Jamie Plord. He's trying to make his way through the field on that outside line.
Yeah, that 38 again. We talked about him very much enjoying this track. He's going to be looking to make his way up here and see how he can make some passes get done. And the 38 machine has had a little bit of contact farther back in the field, but the racing is great right around this group as they're all coming off of turn 4. The battle for second even rages on as Buzzio up front with Kubinek and the 3 of Roberts all stacked up each other going into turn 1 and almost contact between these two.
TJ Roberts even had a little bit of brush with the wall, and that is giving the opportunity of the 40, Ryan Thomas, an opportunity into this race. Ryan Thomas looking to hoping to recover from a kind of rough Daytona race last week. He didn't quite have the finish that he wanted, but looking there in the top 5, he's doing really well. Kubinek so far broken away with the second position, but third is between the 21 and the 3 of TJ Roberts, and right now not giving any ground. There's a high in the middle line, but right now all these drivers looking to take that middle line seems preferable. And you mentioned it, Zach, that inside line can be a bit treacherous.
That it can be a 3 wide down the back straightaway almost as Thomas is going to look for that spot almost up in the 3rd position. Man, oh man, that continues on, and Plord back here having attacks from him as Hossman's going in this inside, and also Alex Coffey.
And also we go back to the front. The 40's making a pass on the 3. 3 had to take the outside line and get checked up. The 56, Richard Wolsifer, started 8th, up there in 6th at the moment and looking at another spot. But in his mirror is the 78 of Mason Hausman, and not looking good for him either. He is right on the bumpers and loses a bit of time to the cars in front of him. Ryan Thomas is going to lose a little bit of time going down the backstretch. TJ Roberts for now will have that 4th position.
Yeah, going to hang on to that 4th spot for now. Like you said, is 56 up the racetrack. That's going to let a Hossman there go by on the inside, and all along with that, it's going to be the 7 of Coffee there getting the run. So that's going to be Richard dropping back in that 56, 2 spots off of turn number 4, back to 8.
Jamie Ford in the 38 behind him, looking to take it, but decided to pull out of that. What I'm noticing right now, Zach, is when you take that high line in 3 and 4, you were losing just a ton of time to the competitors. We saw the 56 take that outside line, and right now the 78 and the 7 going at it through 3 and 4. The 78 taking a little bit of a higher line, but that 7 may have taken a little bit too shallow of an entry. And these guys just trying to figure out, and a track like this, you would think as a multi-groove track, but right now we're seeing the exact opposite with this side-by-side racing.
Yeah, that we are. You know, it's really, the options are limited, but you can make passes low as, man, there goes the 7 by the 78. So great pass by Coffin. He's really the big mover. 18th up to this 6th spot, and I don't think that's going to stop this out. Number 7 machine didn't have any qualifying or any practice laps here tonight. He's really coming in here raring with right off the fresh start.
He is going to make another pass on the 77 of Kubinek. Kubinek had a rough corner a couple of corners ago, and that forced him to lose a couple spots to Roberts and Thomas there in the 40. And he's going to take the high line. Ooh, Coffee with a great run through 1 and 2. He's going to get to the side of the 40 and try and make a pass down this back straightaway.
Yeah, trying to make that pass happen. Ooh, that 7 machine, he's looking for 4th already, and he's really made quick work. And the 40 up the racetrack right in front of him. This is going to allow Coffee to have that shot here off of turn 4. He's going to be looking for this 4th position early in this race from the 18th starting spot. I mean, started 18th. We're only 15 laps in this race, and he's broke into the top 5 and now trying to break into the top 4.
That's just a fantastic operation through the field. Oh, as he gets up into the 40 of Ryan Thomas, they are going to be able to avoid any major calamity down the back straightaway, but that was a very, very close call as the 38 tries to make a move on the 56, and the 56 is It started 6th, he got up to about, I'm sorry, he started 8th, got up to about 5th, 6th. Now he's fallen to about 8th and 9th, so the 56 with an up and down day so far early in this run is that of Richard Wolsifer, the 38 of Jamie Ford, making that pass. And right now, there is a battle for 4th again. Ryan Thomas gathering it up, trying to make a charge on the 7.
Yeah, Thomas there. He tried to get back at that 7 machine, but just could not make it happen. He's going to have the 78 of Mason Halsman looking at his inside down the back straightaway. So great racing going on. And we're seeing, I talked about how passing is at a premium, but it can happen at Gateway. It is not something that is impossible. It's just very tough to do, and drivers are making it look very, very easy at the moment. As again, Halsman battling with that 40 machine for that top 5 spot.
Indeed, and right now the 7 actually is nose to nose with the 40, and quite honestly, that is Mason Hausman going around with Ryan Thomas, and they are wrecking down the back straightaway, and you see it right there. It is just calamity corner coming out of turn 2. It is ridiculously backed up as a huge LA freeway traffic jam down the back straightaway, and it is going to damage a lot of these cars, and already second caution, lap 18 of this race.
Early 2 cautions for us here already for the Wicked Racing League, and Gateway striking here for a few guys, and they're going to be looking to possibly use that first fast repair, and going to probably be most likely the 40 of Ryan Thomas and that 78 of Halsman, who was racing for a 5th place position there and just made contact, bringing out that second caution.
And that's all it takes. We just mentioned how much moves you can make, but there are certain moves that you cannot, and that is probably qualify as one of them early on in this race, especially with a lot of racing to go. 200 full laps here at the Rev Sim Shop 200. So right now, Zach, it looks like fuel may not be an issue and letting these tires cool down again. Another heat cycle. What will that do to these cars on the restart?
That will have an effect on the balance. It could actually help a little bit. Some of the cooling down effect can help bring a little grip back to the tires. Sometimes it can actually make it worse. So we'll see how that works for the tires here tonight at Gateway. But yeah, that top group here looking to just stay out at the moment. But a few guys like Mason Halsman, who's having to drive back the pit road, broken down. Blaine Wilson, Christian DeRoches, Stephen T. Cole, I believe also Jamie Plord. All coming down pit road here.
And here we are. We're going to see some of that strategy. It looks like lap 19. It could be because of damage. It could be because of strategy. But this is an interesting call by some of these drivers. Not surprised that the drivers in front stayed out and decided to keep that track position. But further on back, not much else to lose. You're back there already. If it messes up, then you mess up and try again next stage.
Yeah, it'll be one of those things where you learn throughout the race. You see these moments, and that is your chance to really gauge stuff and be able to make that right call when it comes down to it later in the race. And this is your time to learn. So drivers using it wisely, possibly, and coming down here and seeing what the tire wear is, maybe even just topping off their cars. So that is a good strategy for some drivers farther back in the track position of this field, and we'll be trying to get to that lap 50 stage here.
We get to that lap 50, and we are still 30 laps away from that. We haven't even gone through halfway at this stage, and we've seen already some comers and goers. The 7 of Alex Coffey being one of them. Started 18th position, now sitting nicely in 4th, and before that caution was one of the faster cars on the track. So we have to keep an eye on that number 7 of Alex Coffey.
No doubt, he was flying through the field, and he's going to be one to watch out for. That winner at Dover earlier in the season to kick it all off. He has really been strong in almost every single race this season. Just maybe hasn't got every finish he's desired here. But right now in this 4th position, a great start after starting out at the back of the field. And that was along with his teammate John Curtis, who unfortunately he had to take it behind the wall earlier. And he's 14 laps out of this race in the 19th spot.
John Curtis actually was mentioning he wasn't feeling very well, so he's going to try and do what he can, but it looks like he got about 6 laps in and decided he couldn't carry on. But glad he came out, try and get some of those spots whatever points he can, because he's pretty decent in the top five, gaining a spot after Daytona last week. So points going to be valuable to the 00 of John Curtis. So we hope he feels well and is able to rejoin us next week. We're used to seeing him at the front, so that will be a welcome sight next week. But right now, looks like the lights are off on the pace car. We are side by side getting ready to go green again here at Worldwide Technology Speedway. With all this transpiring, I feel these guys are getting maybe a little impatient, trying to make those moves that may not be there just yet. And there we see the 56 warming up those tires. Zach, it's kind of a double-edged sword. You wanted that track position, you want to be aggressive, you don't want to rake anyone down. How do you balance that?
It is tough. You want to be aggressive and get track position, but if you're over aggressive, you see what can lead to that is incidents, and if you got to use that fast repair in this first stage, you're going to be kind of in trouble if something happens to you later. So you don't want to be saving that, but we'll see what the aggression level is here. Is Rodgers has been shot out like a cannon here on every restart.
Like a cannon every time. He's been waiting till usually later in that restart zone, as he's just waiting with the 21 Adam Buzzio waiting to pounce. And again, a great start by the 17. That's going to bring him to 7. Alex Coffey to the outside of Buzzio. This is going to be a battle for second. JT Roberts in the 3 behind him with the 24, making a move on that outside line, but the 19, Stephen Corbell may have something to say about that. The 19 being caught in an earlier incident, and here we go again, back down the back straightaway.
Yeah, down the back straightaway here, some great racing going on once again between this group here as they head down into 3, and 3 is that very flat, long corner. And this is the corner where you're most likely going to see guys in electing to maybe even stay all the way in the 5th gear. I think you'll see a lot of guys go down the 4th, but down in 1 and 2 is going to be the interesting spot. You're going to get guys all the way down to 3rd gear at some point, so it's very interesting to see that. But with a 5-gear sequential gearbox, this next-gen car, you have many options at your toolbox.
It's so many options that within the car you have. You can use the car itself, the engine itself, downshifting, the brakes. Zach, this new next-gen car, there's so many things, maybe not direct adjustments, but there's so many things that you can do, especially with the brake bias, to give you a tight or loose condition. How often do you mess with that as the race goes on, as the run goes on, the rubber burns off, the fuel's burning off, you're getting a little bit lighter in the rear end? How do you use these tools to help drive throughout the run?
Yeah, it really depends. You know, if that balance tends to change and is transitioning a lot, you will really crank that brake bias. And where the brake bias is going to help you is on that entry to the corner. Whenever you're stepping on the brake, that is where the balance change is going to happen, that with that change to the bias. So if you feel a little bit unstable in that rear end, you might want to throw a little bit more front brake in that car to stabilize it up on that entry. And if you feel pretty tight, like the nose isn't wanting to rotate on entry, you might want to throw a little bit more rear brake in the car. So definite things these guys can do to help them. But I tell you what's happening right now is very interesting. Is Rodgers, he's been very, very strong all night long out front. But Alex Coffey, the driver from 18th, he's putting pressure on him up front as he almost looked to the inside up front for the lead.
He had the corner of the car in his sights and decided it was a bad position. He would have put himself and the leader at 17 in, and he decided to get out of that wisely. It's going to take him a couple more laps to build that run back. But right now, Alex Coffey and Gavin Rogers competing for the fastest car on the track right now. So these guys, strong move by the 18 of Blaine Wilson to the inside of the 56 in that turn one. In turn 1, as we keep talking about, is where you're strongest on the brakes. And with turn 1 being so banked and so short, with turn 3 and 4, kind of the opposite. How do you tune for that? How do you prepare for that? Going through the tracking, going through the motions, trying to save your tires, and making sure you're at the right corner.
It can be very tough sometimes, because these are two opposite sides of the racetrack, and kind of why I compared to Darlington. Darlington, you got to have that mentality of, all right, this is the one side of the track, this is the other side of the track. Got an incident there. Is the 18, I think, that was the 18, I believe, of Blaine Wilson there. That was a wild moment there for him. Actually, it wasn't. I'm unsure exactly who it was. It was Jimmy Kubinek in the 77, actually. So from the 6th position, he had a wild incident there. off of turn 2 there, almost getting into the wall and just having to save the car.
Doesn't look like he's going to have any damage, but right here, huge battle with the 18, the 56, and I think that's the 20 of Nigel Christensen, as he's going to go deep into the corner, really bang the fender, getting to the door of the 56, shoving the 56 really high, and it looks like the 40 of Ryan Thomas is going to take advantage of that move as well, and the 56 struggling the more this run goes on as we are completing lap 28 at the moment. We still have 21, 22 laps. So right now, Ryan Thomas caught up in an incident earlier. That's a 78 of Mason Houseman, sorry. And he's looking to get his way forward after an earlier incident as well.
Yeah, that winner from Watkins going to try to make his way on up. As this group has had some interesting racing going on back here. As Wilson all over the back bumper of that 20, his teammate there, Nigel Christensen, coming off a 2. And yeah, Richard is really just having a struggle right now on the race trim side of things here. Carl is qualifying that really good 8th spot, but right now already dropping back to 15th.
And that just goes to show you saw 78 really dive down low a couple laps ago onto his door, really forcing him up. And that's just kind of how you have to make passes here at the Gateway. You have to take that inside. If you can brake better, that's a great passing zone for some of these cars, as we see another car nearly get into the wall there. I think that's the 13 or the 3 possibly, but man, a lot of these drivers halfway through this run really struggling with the handling, and the 7 of Alex Coffey was on the bumper of our leader, has fallen back to about 3 seconds behind the leader. So Alex Coffey, one of our faster cars, having issues, but man, these guys are really going at it coming to the later stages of this stage with Nigel Christensen and it looks like the 18 of Blaine Wilson battling it out there for the 6th position, it looks like.
Yeah, and I can tell you what happened to Coffey. He had a major moment coming off a 2 about lap 29 and just lost the rear end, went into the grass. Luckily saved that machine and was able to get back on track in the 4th. But right now, trying to track back down the guys up ahead of him, is he's quicker than the 2 drivers of Buzzio and Roberts directly ahead of him. But Gavin Rogers out front still running some of the quickest times. As actually last time by, Coffey was the fastest car on the racetrack.
Coffey the fastest, but to make a correction, we're seeing these 4 cars are all battling for 11th position. So Nigel Christensen in the 20, sitting in the 11th position just outside stage point finishes for the stages. We're getting closer. It's about 18, 19 laps until the end of the stage, and Nigel's just trying to keep it together. I think he wants to make that pass on the 9 of Chad Bean to get those points, but you've seen earlier, you don't want to force the issue if you don't have to. And right now, he's getting to the bumper of the 9. We're going to see what happens. 9 looks to go low. Not going to make the pass around the 13 going into 1, but that's going to bring all these other cars into the picture. All these guys fighting for stage points later on in this run.
That they are, man. It's a real gaggle right here as they continue to be stacked up for these spots. Man, oh man, almost contact there entering the corner, but they're going to keep it straight as the 20 of Christensen trying to make the pass. Wilson, his teammate, trying to follow suit.
And that is the 13 of Ryan Harrison really struggling through the corner. He's going to lose a 3rd position to the 18 of Blaine Wilson. So right there, within about half a lap, he lost 3 positions. Oh, he's going to try and chase the car way up the track, try and keep it off of the wall, but he is going to lose even more positions with the 78 and the 40 fighting side by side through that corner. So in span of about a lap, that 13 lost 5 positions there, and those are going to be very, very hard to get back. As we mentioned, track position going to be key. Oh, looks like Ryan Thomas trying to do the slide job and was ineffective as the 78 of Houseman pulled the cross, the cross move there. But these guys figuring it out and driving hard later in this run.
That they are, and look at this battle starting to heat up. Giovanni Perez Diemco making his way from the 14th starting spot. He's up to 7th. He's got Stephen Borbell right ahead of him in the 19, trying to make the pass on the 24, Johnny Shade, who goes way up the racetrack. That's going to allow Stephen to get that done as he's up to the 5th spot. Shade coming back with possibly a crossover down the front straightaway.
Crossover down the front straightaway. He's going to get to the fender, try and make that side draft move. He's going to dive really hard into turn 1 and try to slide up there, but not going to work. 19, Stephen Borbell having a much better line performing the crossover with 11. right behind him, just kind of waiting. The 11 of D'Amico just kind of waiting to see what the 24 does. But behind him, 38 of Jamie Ford in that 8th position. So we have another cluster of cars here, all vying for points and position as we close in on lap 37 of this stage, of this race out of 200. So already doing getting some pace. And now we have a good, clean green flag run without any cautions, and it looks like it's doing these drivers wonders as they can relax a little bit and feel the cars out a little bit better.
That they can, Carl. Is right now we're watching this battle continue on with this group here. We got some battling going on back there. The 20 of Christensen, the 18 of Wilton, and the 9 of Chad Bean. All three of these drivers still continue their battle 38 laps into this run. And man, it's just showing right here, having some good runs here in the first stage with these guys trying to find as many spots as available for those stage points. And right now, Chad Bean holds on to that last spot. Actually, he's back to 11th now.
Oh, it's those stage points, but as well, the further up you start in the restart, the less chance there is of getting caught up in someone else's mess. And I think that is definitely hanging in the back of some of these drivers' minds as we're slowly ticking away at these laps. But right here you see the 40 of Brian, that's the 9 and 78. This is for 11th position. These guys trying to get back in there. Chad Bean was up in there, falling back a little bit. And Mason Houseman, despite the earlier speed he had, he is seemingly struggling to get right back into that top 10 position.
Yeah, he is really trying to drive his way right back up into it as our winner from Watkins Glen there, doing his best in that 78 machine, but just having a tough time. You saw Ryan and Thomas back there having a tough time for himself off of 2 back there, having to really hold on to that 40 machine. He's right ahead of that 96, but we're coming here to 10 to go here in this stage, or coming next time by to 10 to go in this stage, Carl. This is looking good for Gavin Rogers, though, who's built a 3.5 second lead.
As long as the caution doesn't come out. We have had a couple cautions, and these drivers have been able to save a little bit of fuel, but as this run, it goes on and on. It's burning that fuel off, Zach, and making that rear end lighter. How much does that really affect the car's handling corner entry, corner exit, as that fuel tank empties and that rear end gets lighter?
Yeah, it actually has a huge effect here. When you lighten up that rear end, you're taking some weight off those tires. In turn, pretty much what you're doing from that point is just softening up the race car. You're allowing a little bit more travel, a little bit more in that suspension, allowing that car to lift up. That's going to in turn make the car a little bit tighter. Also raising up that rear end, it's going to make that spoiler get up in the air a little bit more, make it get a little bit more downforce in the rear, making it a little bit tighter. So as the run goes on, usually the balance transitions to the tighter side, but sometimes you can have those cars that always want to be wicked loose. And from what I'm seeing, a lot of guys struggling right on the corner exit, especially off of 2 on the right rear.
A lot of guys right now wicked loose in this wicked racing league, as we see Giovanni Perez D'Amico struggled there on the backstretch, and he's going to under attack by Nigel Christensen, and he's going to get shoved up the track just a little bit. And not only is the 20 go around, but his teammate as well, Blaine Wilson, is going to take a spot, but he's still not cleared the 11-18, going to go take this turn 3, and it looks like the 11 is just going to let him go in the way they go, and that's another 2 spots for Giovanni, and that's just got to be frustrating towards the end here, seeing those. Some tires have come, some guys kind of sacrifice, Zach, that short run speed to be able to run the long term, to make sure that they have the tire for a long run. It looks like right now the 19 or the 20 and the 18 might be on that strategy.
Yeah, I tell you, the 20 and the 18, they've been charging their way through together as teammates, just one by one making passes here up to 8th and 9th now in this stage, and getting more points as they go. And if they continue on this trend, they may be able to get Ford and maybe even Johnny Shade up ahead in that 6th and 7th spot as we continue to near towards the end of this stage here. But right now, Rogers out front with Coffee actually now taking over that 2nd spot about 2 laps to go from Buzzio. It's about a 4.6 second lead.
4.6, Alex Coffey putting down some decent times, but last lap, the 20, Nigel Christensen, that Toyota machine is really moving, putting down some of the faster laps that we've seen so far right now as this run continues. And the 38's going to look to go really high, have the momentum, but the 20 really had a great corner exit and was able to capitalize with the 38. Jamie Ford going to lose a spot, and this is for 7th position. And right now, the 38 might lose it another position to the 18 as Blaine Wilson goes low in turn 1, and it looks like they're going to rotate a little bit better. 38 really struggling with that handling coming out of turn 2. And last lap, Blaine Wilson in that 18 car was the fastest lap. So right now, Zach, looks like these guys are going to save some stuff.
Yeah, this 20 and this 18, man, I'm telling you, they've got this longer run figured out for themselves as they've continued to march their way through this field as they continue to march back up there. But right now, that 18 having a little bit of struggle getting around the 38. He'll be at the inside here heading into 1, trying to take over that 8th position as Christensen, like you said, running some of the fastest times on the racetrack.
Well, that last lap goes to Coffee, who has a clear track ahead of him with that 4 or 5 second gap to the 17. So with about 4 laps to go here at Gateway, we have not a lot of time for some of these drivers to make moves and get those strategy points into those stage points. And right now, the 18 finally cleared the 38. Going into 1, and the 20 is going to set his sights on Johnny Shade in front of him in the number 24, and that's the 11 on the exit road of pit lane coming out here. So I don't know if he might have had some contact, but that is going to put him 2 laps down for the 11. So unfortunate incident for the 11s to really kind of end the stage.
Yeah, that is not what you want to see for that 11 machine, but it's going to be some time, plenty of time here for him to rebound, though. He's still got over 150 laps left in this race here tonight, so he's got to keep his head down and try to stay in the game here all the way down to at least that checker flag to see what he can get back. But, man, as we continue on here, the final few laps of this stage is Alex Coffey is able to get a little bit of time into Gavin Rogers, but he's going to need to be a lot closer this next time and not make that mistake behind him.
Don't make that mistake. And Alex Coffey is definitely looking towards the stage break, as he knows once that stage ends, they're all going to bunch up, make some adjustments, some tires, fuel, service, and they're going to be side by side, barring any setbacks on pit road. And I know the 7 is definitely looking forward to that. Our 2 fastest cars right here, the 20 and the 18, have slowly stalked down the 24, Johnny Shaden, looking to make another pass for position into the 6th spot. So Nigel Christensen, Blaine Wilson working together really well, getting through the front part of this pack and saving those tires, being the, at least later here, the most consistently fastest cars on the track.
They really have been, Carl, so good job on them, the Christensen and Wilson here. Is they may be able to get shade here in this last lap, but not going to possibly be enough time for him, as Rogers is already into 3 and 4 for himself, as he's going to be coming out of 4. He's going to be looking for another stage win here and just to continue to build on that points lead of his.
Building on the points lead, filling that bucket, as they say that, and there it is. Our caution for our first stage break here tonight for the Wicked Racing League. Well, a couple of early cautions, lap 4, lap 18, but ever since we've been clean and green, Zach. Pretty impressive so far.
That it has been, Carl. Very, very impressive to see what these guys have done here tonight at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. But as we hit our first stage with Gavin Rogers winning it all, we're going to head to our first commercial break up here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's been a wild night here in Missouri, trying to figure out which driver is going to position themselves in the right spot at the very end of this race to be in that position to be able to pull off that victory. It's going to be a fun time here, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to call, as these drivers all are going to get ready to set up for pit road, and we're going to go side by side here as we get ready for these pit stops. And I don't think we're going to set this up.
Not quite yet, as we're going to see some of these guys roll down their cool down laps, get all gathered up before pit road opens. But these guys are really, really spread out. The back half of the guys are barely on the back straightaways. These guys are getting ready to head into pit lane, and this is just one of those situations where having that lead really can help secure that track position later on in the run.
That it will be, Carl. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys all shake out coming down the pit road here and get their service done. But yeah, first stage of the night, man, it's been a wild one so far. Rogers, very, very dominant. We'll see what Coffee can do as he's driven his way from that 18th start spot to the second. And a lot of big movers here.
Big movers and some big losers as the 11 of Giovanni Perez D'Amico is trying to get one of his laps back for pitting under green, but that is only going to give that one lap back. So that is really going to have a struggle for him in that 11 machine for the rest of the race, trying to get that lap back. He has the second stage, but that's 50 laps away. There's a lot that can happen between now and then. He may not be the first car a lap down when that point comes. So that's kind of a pressure cooker situation here early on for the 11.
Yeah, it's definitely been a pressure cooker here for sure for a few of these guys. So we'll see how it all works out. And I think he's got time, though. You know, that's the big thing on his side is he's got time in this race to be able to get back in position. And he was running good. He was running very, very consistent laps. So hopefully it all works out for him there as we're under this caution, man. I tell you, it's been a great one so far. As we need to give some shout outs here to our sponsors here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's always a pleasure to call these races and give a shout out to our sponsors. And you know, as you want to be a perfect race control and have the ability to do that, you can go check out the admin box at adminbox.com, and that's adminbox with 2 X's there. And you want to use that promo code FFB/box with 2 X's to get that discount and have race control at your fingertips. But under caution still here, Carl, and pacing along here as we get ready for the start of stage 2.
You know, pacing along makes me think of, you mentioned Missouri. In fact, fun fact, we're here in Madison, Illinois, but we are only a couple miles east of St. Louis, Missouri. So we're really close to the border, and hence why Gateway Motor Park Speedway got its name. So for you guys working on your trivia stats, take that in your book and file it away for facts you may never need. But this track has certainly an interesting and a really colorful past, and from what we've seen, it has a really hopeful future. So this is really fun to see this track on the surface and in real life. You mentioned, Zach, the Cup cars get to race here as well, and it's just a great opportunity for Worldwide Technology Raceway.
That it is, Carl, and you know, it's cool to see new tracks coming onto the scene. So always fun to have that happen. Is you know, it's always nice to have a new refresher, as they would say, when it comes to tracks. So it's cool to see a new one, and hope to have new ones all throughout the country, and maybe even some new ones built. You know, that's the big thing is, you know, a resurgence like this could help build some new tracks on the schedule. And even, you know, I personally feel like having as a 1 year event kind of gives it a little bit more hype, makes people want to go out to that event more often.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. You make it that one-off chance, and with it questionable history, you don't know when it's going to come back. So that just makes any kind of experience here at the Motorsport Park really special experience for a lot of the fans, but really especially special for you and me as we get to see him go green again here at this 1.25 mile track. And it just goes to show NASCAR's kind of initiative to do kind of the outside of the box with the announcement of Chicago Street Course. A lot of controversy, but they're going out of the box trying new things. But we are going to try another restart here for the Wicked Racing League, sponsored by Buttkicker. So here we go. You definitely want to be here for this. There's some jamming there in the back. 17 is going to wait till the very end of the restart zone to get going. Green flag is out. We are going into turn 1 side by side here for second. It looks like in there is the 18th Lynn Wilson, all on this, or sorry, 78 of Mason Houseman inside of this 38 of Jamie Plord. Jamie Plord is gonna rush the wall. Oh, we have an incident there into the outside wall. That looks like to be the 24 Johnny Shade. All these other cars are trying to fan out to avoid him. That's gonna take the 40 out. We have a caution again on the back straightaway. That was just a very, very slow wreck that just kind of kept going further and further down the back straightaway. And that's just another testament to how narrow this track can get.
That it can be, Carl. Man, wow, what a wild incident. There's the 40 machine involved in that one, and I think that's going to be his second, or he's already used a fast repair here tonight, and I think that might be race over for Ryan Thomas. That's got to be a tough break for him there. That's our 4th caution of the night, 3rd one for incident.
Tough break indeed, and just we mentioned it earlier how narrow this track is. You can go to the grass there on the inside, but you said it before, it's ice down there, and there is no car control when you get down there trying to avoid a wreck. So you may just easily end up in another car or the inside wall just as easily, and that just goes to show how difficult this track can be to handle and avoid those wrecks. And here we are under caution again, and again with the caution, fuel save, tire save. We mentioned that 50 laps would be a stretch on 1 tank of gas with this 82% fuel load, but with 1 caution it should steal a definitive answer in how they can run towards the end with that fuel. And we have some takers on pit road, but that just might be because they had some damage in that wreck. The 24, the 56, I think a 3rd one, but I can't quite see it. So some cars on pit road.
Yeah, some cars on pit road here, and getting their service done is, oh man, definitely some wild moments going on here tonight. As we've had those couple incidents, and right now Rogers hold on to the lead in front of Coffee, Roberts, Buzzio, and Borbell. So 4 cautions in, and right now 58 laps of the 200, and Gateway going to be a endurance race here tonight for these guys, Carl.
Endurance, but you know, it was the one beneficiary of that caution was the 11 of Giovanni Perez D'Amico. He is now on the lead lap. So look at lucky break for the 11, recovering from an earlier incident, having to pit under green, but now on the lead lap at the very tail end of the field. And we've seen how a couple of these restarts have gone, and cautions breed caution. So always got to be careful, always got to be aware. And this track, it's just that much more emphasis on this as we see these 2 cars. 17 of Gavin Rogers has been really waiting for the end of the restart zone, and the 7 just can't match it. Do you think there's a strategy to maybe wanting to mix up where you restart in the zone? Or do you want to be consistent about it where you know you can get the throttle down and not spin the tires?
You know, you want to be, consistent so you don't make mistakes, but you got to change it up. At some point that 7 is going to time this restart on the 17, and he's going to be in a much better spot than Gavin Rogers probably wants them to be in, and that's what it's going to be, race on. So we'll see when that comes in. It's just one of those things. It's a guessing game kind of when you come to that Geico restart zone. So we'll see how it all works out. But right now, continuing the pace here, Rogers been out front all night long, started on that pole position. Our points leader has been having a dominant night.
Dominant night indeed, but the 7 is here to ruin it. So he definitely wants to try and take some of that position away. And who knows what Alex Coffey can do with clean air. It's very difficult to know what your car is going to do in the lead when you're mired in the pack. Even in second, all that dirty air really messes with the handling. So you never know what you can get with that clean air. And that's exactly what the 7 is looking for.
Yeah, the clean air has always been a key factor in this Cup Series racing, and I think that's what the 7 is going to be looking for. And he's done a good job of going through the dirty air, as we would say, is 18th up the second tonight. It's been super impressive from that number 7 machine. So very interesting right here so far. But man, we're looking like we're going to get ready to go back green.
Ooh, we're getting ready to go back green side by side. The 7 is trying to warm up those tires, trying to get a little bit more grip and friction into the tire, a little bit more heat to the 17, weaving back and forth. So right now, with all these drivers, all of them are on the lead lap. Well, besides Ryan Thomas, he's 2 laps down. He might have called it a night. He's on pit road, trying to get some of that damage repaired. 17 cars on the track, all on the lead lap right now. So here we go with the field in tow of the 17 and the pace car. The 17 big gap there. Adam Buzzio just trying to lean back, but right now, the 7 really trying to lean on this door of the 17 and trying to time it. And there it is, 17 of Gavin Rogers got a good restart, but the 7 was waiting for him. And we are green again at Gateway.
At green again, and look at this Plord back here trying to make moves, move his way forward here. Is a wild start. There's Coffee up front into the wall, and a couple other cars grazing that wall off the exit, and it's going to be almost 3 wide back there as they're racing in the backstretch.
3 wide. Alex Coffey is making a huge outside move, getting taken over by Adam Buzzio in the 21. So earlier in this restart, but he's going to come back on the high side. But that's just up front. Here in the back, we have a lot of racing going on as well. As we're seeing the 77 of Kubanek, looks like 24 of Shade is out there trying to reclaim some lost track position. A lot of these guys racing side by side. Chad Bean there in the 9, also trying to hold his own in that 11th position. Looks like he might have missed out on some stage points in that first stage, but looking to try and recover for the second stage.
Yeah, trying to recover here, and that's what stage racing is all about. It gives you the ability to try to do something with it, and we'll see who can allow themselves to work their way through the field here tonight. Again, this track's going to go through a lot of changes, in my opinion. Here is you got 200 laps. That's a very, very long race here, and it's going to be a changing one as it ever goes on here. 63 laps into this thing.
The track will go through some change, but it's relatively cool right now. 71 degrees air temp, 90 degrees track temp, partly cloudy, very low breeze coming from the north, and that'll be going into the face as you're coming off of turn 2. So really the track is almost perfect for a race. Nice and grippy, but just enough slickness to have to really keep an eye on your throttle. It looks like the Knight of Chad Bean is going to make a position, really driving up the track there against, I think that is the 13 of Harrison. And we are getting really close there down the back straightaway. Some of these drivers are learning they're trying to stay out of that outside wall.
Yeah, trying to stay outside the outside wall is no doubt a good option to do, as you don't want to get that damage, but this racing has been epic back here in these farther back positions. Kubanek back here in the 77, Stephen T. Cole, Johnny Shade, Richard Wolfster, Nigel Christensen trying to work his way back up. There's some contact from the 56 up there to that 96, and there's cars flying everywhere.
Cars flying, parts moving, arms and elbows are out trying to get these positions, and this is in the back. It looks like 24, Johnny Shade going to make a move to the inside, going into 3, as is the 56. Nigel Christensen had a EOL penalty at the start of this stage, so he is trying to recover. He may not have the speed earlier on in the run, but if the run goes long, Zach, we've witnessed him and Blaine Wilson put some of the faster laps down on older tires. So Nigel Christensen just needs to settle down, refocus, and try and march back up to the field. Still has a lot of race to go.
Yeah, a lot of race, no doubt, to go here, man. And down the back straightaway, these guys continue just to go at it and really go at each other's necks here. Is 66 of 200 here. Remember, we got to get to lap 100 for that stage 2 caution. And right here, Kubanek racing hard with Johnny Shea.
Racing hard, and if you want to race with these guys, you got to go and get a rig. And the first place I will tell you to go is Advanced Sim Racing. Advanced Sim Racing has been founded in 2020 and is run by passionate sim racers like you and me. They sell the most sturdiest, most durable frames, and most importantly, they have zero flex. We love having them as our sponsor. You can go ahead and put your iRacing iFlag, your admin box, set it up for a whole rig. You can put that on there and it would be great. Use the discount code FreakyFast5, all spelled out, to get 5% off your order. Tell them we sent you. We love having them support us, being able to do this and watch this incredible racing. The 77 gets really low down there on the 23, trying to take that position, but the 23 having the momentum coming out of turn 2, able to hold off that 77.
Yeah, some great racing going on here, and man, I tell you what, I think right now we're having some really interesting racing going on, but we are having a little bit of some technical difficulties, we believe, up here, folks. So we're going to step aside here for a minute. We're going to keep you live here with the racing action going on out on the racetrack. We're going to step aside and figure out what this issue is. We'll be right back in the next few moments. All right, everybody, we're back up here at the Freaky Fast broadcasting booth, and definitely still a little bit of technical issues we got going on in the background, but we're still trying to figure all that out. We'll still be trying to bring as best of coverage as we can here to you tonight here at the Wicked Racing League. As we up here at the booth are riding along with you folks, watching the action here as we get the sights and sounds from getting
sights and sounds. We see a lot of beating and banging. A lot of this transpired since we first left you guys. The 7 of Alex Coffey has fallen back from the 2nd position. Is going to be sitting there in the 6th position, I believe 7th. Having some handling issues, but right now that looks like the 17 or the 13 of Ryan Harrison struggling down the back straightaway. Might have had to get out of the throttle a little bit, and there is the 23 as well of Christian DeRoches trying to take that position, seeing the battling in front of him side by side.
What race that we got going right here in this back group, man, is they've continued to keep it really close, and that's the thing. It's been very, very spread out up front, but really from that 3rd spot on back all night long, it's been super, super close. So this has been some great racing as Routers and Buzzio far out ahead. This group just all stacked up on top of each other still.
Ooh, the 7 and the 78 going at it for 5th position. Getting a little bumper action, trying to use a little bit of that chrome horn on the 7 to move the 78, and simply not making it easy, trying to pinch the 7 down and keep his line and keep his exit clear, but it looks like the 7 is going to get that position, opening the door for the 38 of Jamie Plord, and here we are around the back straightaway. Car slow on the back straight, and it looks like the 1 of Mike Thomas, who was 81 laps down. So newcomer Mike Thomas trying to get some laps in.
Yeah, first lap of the race for him, 80 laps into this. So definitely interesting for Mike Thomas there, I guess. Going to try to come out here and maybe get a spot from that 00, and he can still get a spot from Ryan Thomas too, of the 40 machine. So Mike Thomas, maybe go out there and get 2 positions for us here, Carl, and see if he can get himself up to 18th there. As the Roaches flying into the corner, almost into the back of the 13 there, as they continue to race on here as we get closer and closer to that lap 100 stage.
Closer, and that was there was some contact there. There was a car sideways down the front straightaway. I think it might have been the 24 of Johnny Shade as he gets rolling, no caution at the moment, but there was definitely an incident on that front straightaway as all these cars bunched up racing hard. And right here, it looks like the battle for 12th on back is really heating up. These guys on top of each other besides the battle for 5th. A lot of driving going on, a lot of beating and banging. These guys aren't playing nice anymore.
That they aren't, Carl. They're just starting to rev it up a little bit more and use a little bit of elbow grease. That 24 machine, or that 23 machine, trying to hold on to that car there down that back straightaway. And that's what it's been. It's been turn 2 has been kind of the spot where we've seen a lot of people getting that loose condition and really having to fight the car.
And that's, I'd imagine that's due to how tight that corner is. Everyone's trying to get a good run off that corner, putting a little too much throttle into it. As we're on lap 85, so as we mentioned earlier, Zach, as the fuel burns off, the rear end of these cars gets lighter. It makes it a little more difficult to handle, especially under throttle conditions. And I think that what we may be seeing there with the 23 and possibly the majority of this field.
Yeah, this has been really, really interesting to see for the majority of the night. But the majority of the night, we've seen this 17 be lights out super fast. Don't look too far behind him. That 21 Adam Buzzio, he's been quicker the last few laps, and he's making that gap less and less here as we go farther into this stage. Buzzio making a late run here in stage 2.
And with 15 laps to go, he may just have the pace to make the pass for the lead coming to the end of the stage. So this is going to be a really interesting race we're going to keep our eyes on here as he's creeping forward. But last lap, lo and behold, late in the run, Blaine Wilson and Nigel Christensen being the faster cars. So a lot of ebb and flow with this race. Some of these cars good in the short run, some of them good in the long run, but right now, good through all of them is the 17, our leader. But that lead is slowly decreasing, under half a second right now, as Adam Buzzio is on rails, just trying to get to that leader.
Yeah, and Rogers is kind of struggling. Missed the corner there in 3 and 4. Got way up the racetrack. Got a good run from that line, but didn't really make time overall with how much he lost on the injury. So at 17 here, trying to hold on to this gap here. And with the gap, he had about a 4 to 5 second lead the very first stage. This one here, much different. Buzzio found a different level, and as this race goes on, the track does change. So that's one thing that can really play into it.
Right now hovering between half a second, 6/10 of a second. Ooh, Adam Buzzio having a big issue in that last corner, really falling back about 3/10 of a second. But the battle here is for sixth position between Mason Houseman and the 18 of Blaine Wilson. Blaine Wilson trying to put down some decent laps, creep back up into the top 5. Oh, Mason Houseman's going to take it wide, and he is not going to be able to keep that position as the 18 makes it around him. Makes the pass going down the back straightaway. The biggest guy is back here. That is the 96 of Steve Cole. He was involved in that incident on lap 4, and he's just kind of riding around there in 13th, but not comfortably, it looks like, having some cars behind him.
Yeah, definitely not comfortable. Definitely got some cars here ready to pounce at any moment as you see Christensen here closing in on the 20. And ooh, Hausman into 78. He's wrecking on the front straightaway, and that's going to probably bring out the caution because he's parked on the front stretch there. As you see, everybody making a base of maneuvers to go by him.
Oh man, Mason Houseman was in a battle with Alex Coffey for that 4th position. They were really beating on each other earlier. In fact, the 7 of Alex Coffey might have given him a little nudge going into turn 3 a few laps ago. So there may be some story back there, but we may not be able to know from here. But that 7 of Alex Coffey trying to get back up to the front, seeing the ground that Adam Buzzio made on our leader.
Yeah, Buzzio really made a big storm of it there as that 78 of Hausman would bring out that caution. He was closing it down, and I don't think that's something he wanted to see those. It's going to be very close to the end of the stage. I'm going to be interested to see, do these guys consider staying out here, or do they consider coming down? Looks like Rogers there does not elect to come down pit road himself, as it looks like everybody electing to stay out here, and I think that's a smart decision as we're close to that stage.
And those stage points meaning so much here for the Wicked Racing League. These guys are looking for any kind of point they can get. And there's plenty on the table. The problem is there's been pretty much one guy getting them all, and that's the 17 of Gavin Rogers, making it difficult for all these other drivers to fill that points bucket, as it were. So we see these guys going down the front stretch, all single file. It looks like we have a lapped car. That is the 1 of Mike Thomas, going to be, instead of 81, 80 laps down, and that's going to just get him 1 lap closer to that lead lap.
Yeah, that's interesting there for sure, as he's trying to get his a few spots there. As again, he's gotten in position from Curtis, so he's moved up from 20th to 19th. Now he's got to make his way up to Thomas, so that's going to be the next one on the list there, and that's about another 30 to 40 laps here for him. So we'll see how long it takes Mike Thomas to get that back, but he could always get back to 18th. And if anybody wrecks out here before 80 to go, he could try to get a position from them too. So we'll see if that's what he elects to do, but definitely fighting back when you're down.
Yeah, he is about 47 laps down. Looks like the 24 Johnny Shade has parked it in the pit road in his stall. I haven't seen anything. He may still be here, but it is possible after a couple of incidents he may be out of the race. So that may be another position Ryan Harris can take. So even though all these laps down, Mike Thomas trying to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, we'll see what he can make out of this here. It's been kind of one of those nights, man. 93 laps in, not even halfway yet here through this race, and drivers have been trying to make the most of what they've had here. And Rogers, he's just dominated up to this point, but the light is at the end of the tunnel, I think, for that 21 of Buzzio. He saw it there at the end of the run. He was very, very quick when it came down to it, and this should be very interesting here for this final 100 laps of this race after we get to this stage here, lap 100.
Oh, we definitely have to finish this stage here, Zach. This is going to be a really short sprint. Once we get green, it's going to be about 6-7 laps to the end, and we know Gavin Rogers can put the pedal to the metal and really put everyone in his rear view, pull away from the field, and he may not be touched, but last restart, Alex Coffey actually had a decent leg up on the 17, so we can see if the 21 of Adam Buzzio will do it again. But as we cycle through, we should be coming one to go here on our Worldwide Technology Speedway Rev Sim Shop 200. These guys, 200 miles, and looks like definitely maybe getting on each other's nerves here. Not a lot of room to run, and I see a lot more bumping and banging going on.
Yeah, no doubt. With it being this close to the stage, I think you might see some of that. So this could get a little bit feisty, and is someone going to dethrone Rogers from that top spot here on this restart? It's going to be the question. And Buzzio was quicker there on the older tires. They're still on these older tires because they didn't hit pit road. This could be his shot here. It's not going to be many laps, but he's going to have to try to make the most of it here in this 21.
Indeed, you can only do what you can do. The 78 is going to get back up to the field right here on the back straightaway, side by side, ready to go at it again for the Rev Sim Shop 200. These guys have been really battling it out. The 17 has been the helmsman so far this race, with a couple of newcomers to the second, third, and fourth positions. Looks like the 19 of Stephen Warbell is up there after being caught in an earlier incident, so he's looking really solid on that inside line. TJ Roberts, last week's winner at Daytona, looking really good there. Third row inside line. So all these guys looking to gain some points. 18 of Blaine Wilson was really fast there later in the run. But right now the pace car is on pit road, and the field is in the hands of the 17, and he waits again till nearly the end of the restart zone before a launch, and Adam Buzzio just did not go. We're going to see the field fan out to try and avoid any kind of contact. We go diving into one side by side.
Yeah, side by side there, that battle for third ranges on his board bill, trying to make it happen on Coffee, but Buzzio, will he have enough here for Rogers? Rogers had a great restart to get him out in front, but the battle's back here, very intense. Look at that, the 20 Machine Christian diving up the inside here, trying to take a spot.
56 of Richard Wolsifer started 8th, was up to about 4th, fell down to 15th, right back in 8th, and here we are coming to 5 laps to go. Richard Wolsifer looking good for some stage points, as well as the 38 of Jamie Ford in front of him, and in front of him there is just a cluster of carnage. 18, the 3, the 7, the 19, all vying for position. Looks like the 3 of TJ Roberts is going to lose a lot of momentum going out of turn 2, and Blaine Wilson's going to make that pass. So a lot of scuffling up towards the front. Here we are going into turn 3, about 4 more times to go in the stage.
And we'll see who can hold on to it. The 3 way up the racetrack, and that is not what you want to see. Is when you're in 3 and 4, it really takes away from your run. And right here, the 3 trying to hold on to that spot. Last week's winner, Roberts, starting in that second spot, and it's slowly dropping his way back through this grid as the races went on, and now getting that real strong contention there from the 56 of Richard.
And up front, the 7 of Alex Coffey really struggling getting the power down on corner exit. Seen him wiggle. He get a run on the 19 of Borbell. They can't quite make the passes. The 18 has his sights set on him and looking to make that pass himself. So these guys are really looking and scratching and clawing for these stage points as we are here 3 laps to go in the stage that will end at the conclusion of lap 100. And Alex Coffey going wide, Blaine Wilson trying to take advantage. Jamie Plord right behind them, just salivating, waiting for this run. And these guys, the 56 and the 3, have been side by side for laps now. The 56 now getting in line. They've lost so much speed, and he may lose that position there as all those cars behind him waiting for them. Oh, 56 goes way up the track, hitting the wall going into turn 3, coming out of 4. That is definitely going to cause some damage to that car.
Contact being made there as they head down the front straightaway. They're going to fan out some more here as they're going to have 2 laps here to decide it here in the stages. 3 wide into 1, and the 9 of Bean sliding his way past there, making the great move to get up front. And oh, the 20 of Christian way up the track. He's up into the wall on the back straightaway with some more contact almost.
Oh, wow, a lot of these drivers really struggling later on here, trying to get these cars under control with the 77. Kubanek been up and down the field today with the spin out, but Steven Borbell so far has been able to hold off the hard charging machine of the 7. Alex Coffey, and here we are, last lap of this stage. Zach, lap 100, and we can only expect more as we see the 7 putting the bumper to the 19. We saw how that worked with the 78 earlier, and he was doing it again, trying to get that spot back.
Look at that. Made the very nice little bump. Pushes that 19 up that track. And right here, down in the 3 and 4 for the final time of this stage. He's going to look to make that pass stick.
And it looks like the 18 is going to get on the inside of the 19. The 19 not only going to lose 1 position, but 2 positions here at the end of this stage. And that's just got to be a little bit frustrating for Borbell, needing those stage points and being in a really solid 3rd position, but losing 2 positions at that stage end. That's just going to be really frustrating knowing that that happened.
It definitely does, Carl. Man, this has been a wild race so far, but I tell you what, you're not going to want to miss anything else, folks, as we're going to head to a commercial up here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. You got Gavin Rogers, that 17, getting that stage victory, number 2 of the night here, and getting the pole position. Can he get the Freaky Fast Grand Slam? That's going to be the huge question I think all of us got here. But Buzzio is going to try to make a charge at him here. So you're not going to want to miss a thing. We're going to head side by side here at the Wicked Racing League. We'll be right back.
He's following. They're wrecking. They're splitting. And it's a complete mayhem.
We have a wreck at the front. 19 goes down into the 7, takes out the 00.
They're 5 wide behind for fifth. Oh my. 5 wide here. This ain't going to work. This is it. They're already wrecking into turn 1 and now coming through that of turn 2. This is it, the Daytona. Oh no, they're wrecking contact. Sets gets into the wall. Gonna be scattering on the outside. Drivers on the apron. Drivers coming out of nowhere. Edison on the outside trying to get the win. And it's William Edison stealing it at the line.
Into the wall. The 18 trying to block. 77 get into the 18. That leaves 3 of TJ Roberts. 17 of Gavin Rogers. 3 of TJ Roberts is going to steal the win here.
Went second fiddle so many times last season. Christopher Wade wins the season 5 Daytona 200.
Welcome back, race fans. You see in front of you 17 back in the lead after the start here for the beginning of the third and final stage at Worldwide Technology Raceway for the Revson Shop 200. The reason you see the 23 and the 9 of Chad Bean up there, they did not pit. They pit 10 laps earlier at that lap 90 caution, decided to stay out, but seemed to be short work for these drivers of the 7 and the 17 getting around them, the 21 trying to chase them down too. So we have right now arguably the 3 faster cars, at least on the short run in front, but Adam Buzzy has about half a second lead between him and the 7, so the 21 has a little bit of work to do in front of him.
Yeah, he definitely does, and you can see him right now. He's definitely working that wheel there in our driver cam down there in that bottom right. Buzzio, man, he was turning something on there at the end of that last stage. I'm going to be very interested to see what he can do in the later half of this race. So we'll see what he's done and what he's learned in that first portion. As like we said, it's been, a very much an endurance race here tonight with how much longer this race is going to be for these drivers. You can learn a lot and transition a lot throughout the race. Normally you would see, kind of similar where one guy kind of dominates throughout the night and nobody really catches up, but not tonight. It's plenty of time, and Buzzio may have found that light as even Coffee up front. He's pushing Rogers probably to his extent that he doesn't want to.
Indeed, and ladies and gentlemen, you see that right there? You see how he's kind of holding that wheel a little weird? That is that paddle shifter, and we've been hitting on that all night long, and you'll see him click that, move that really quick, and that's him shifting as we see that boom right there, that little bit of the shift. That is from 4th to 5th. And Zach, we've talked about gas mileage, and he's going to shift down into 4th again, going into turn 3, riding on board. He's going to run it through, get on the throttle nice and easy, get to the front straightaway and shift right there. There's the shift into 5th gear. So, ladies and gentlemen, you saw it right here, right now, that there's, a caution on the track, the front straightaway. It looks like the 77 Kubanek having issues coming out of turn 4, but definitely some good racing here and seeing on board from Buzzio how rough this track is and how much the driver is really having to do, shifting, downshifting, upshifting, all of that the driver has to control throughout the race.
Yeah, 7th caution of the night, man, and Kubanek going around off of 4, and that definitely unfortunate for him because that's the second incident he was involved in tonight and might be looking to have to possibly not have a fast repair here as he's going to try to drive that thing back to pit road with required damage.
And we can only see he did go through the grass earlier. He's been bumping and banging with the best of them back there, but it does look like he has a damaged wheel. Looks like the left front, so he might have bounced off the inside wall in getting that damage. And Zach, we've been harping on it all night long is how narrow especially the front stretch can be, and that's just one of those things where if you don't hit the outside wall, you're probably going to hit that inside wall.
Yeah, and that is the thing about the front straightaway here at Gateway. When something happens, usually it heads down to that inside wall and then it comes back up, usually ricocheting. So very dangerous spot to have a wreck, and we've seen tonight that to be a common syndrome. So as we're back under pace laps here for the 7th time here tonight, Rogers back out front, and Bean still in some laps led there from him and took away leading every single lap of this race from that 17. But still, he has the possibility for the Freaky Fast Grand Slam. If he can go out there and win the race, it'll be the first one in a very long time, I believe, here for us.
I haven't seen one, so I'd be really excited to see the 17 get that Grand Slam win, all this. And then that'd be his 3rd win on the season, really widening that points gap between himself and John Curtis, 51 points back. John Curtis not being here. So the next one, Adam Buzzio, 58 points back, and he is sitting there in that blue Toyota, sitting there in 3rd. So it may not be the quite game he'd be looking for because his best competitors in the points are up front with him, but anything you can get is what you want in that points bucket.
You're very right about that, Carl, and we've already had the stage points divvied out tonight, so now it's all about getting to those final points of this race, and we'll see who can position themselves well enough. As like we said, Rogers has been dominant. Coffee though, has been pushing him to the very limit, in my opinion, on these short runs in that 7. So I think that kind of plays into the favor of the 21 Abuzio here. That 7 pushing that 17, it's going to allow that 17 to kind of use up a little bit more tires and allow the 21 kind of hold back, let them to race it out, and then maybe slowly work his way into the picture later.
And we have seen where the 7 is not afraid to use that front bumper to kind of push his competitor out of the way, get that position. But I want to go back to Adam Buzzio, Zach. We saw him while we were riding on board, shifting, upshifting, downshifting. How much of an impact will that make for fuel mileage? You're going from a certain RPM, changing RPM all the time. We know gas mileage is related to RPM and stuff. How much does that shifting really affect the fuel mileage of these race cars?
It definitely can have a predominant effect. You'll see a lot of guys able to save a lot of fuel just due to not shifting down. If you were to stay in 5th gear around this whole entire track, you could probably go, I'd say, at least another 5 to 6 laps. I would say maybe even. It'd be a pretty exponential amount with how much less fuel you'd be burning here in that 5th gear. So it is burning more fuel, shifting those gears, but it is the way to get around this track and kind of the most optimal way. So if you're not doing that, you're going to be kind of struggling here. So not surprised to see everybody clicking up and down those gears.
And with that, we are at lap 115, 86 laps to go. They have to make another stop for fuel. All of the cars up to 8th place, going back to Nigel Christensen, pit on that stage break. Right now, Christian DeRoches fell from that 2nd position all the way down to 10th, only having 10 lap older tires. Chad Bean back down into 16th position. So that may have got some lead lap points, but it has really hurt them. Not even that long into this run, falling back already closer to the mid and back ends of this field. But as we go get ready to grid up again for our 7th restart tonight, we see a lot of fast cars. We've had some incidents, but a lot of the fast cars have finally gotten to the top. The 18 Blaine Wilson might not have that short run speed, but we've been documenting his and the 20's long run speed all night long. The 3 of TJ Roberts has top 5 speed. He's seen it, but he's had some issues with the wall, so we have to keep an eye on that number 3 machine as we go green here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Gavin Rogers on the inside line, and he's going to delay it till the very end again to get that launch. And Alex Coffey still couldn't quite keep that launch with them, and he's going to get in line in 2nd place with a battle of 3rd behind between the 21 and the 18. The 18 is going to take it, but the 7 got really close to the bumper there of the 17. Oh, and he's going to push him down the back straightaway, blocking the 17, blocking a huge block, and that's going to spin the 7 out down the back straightaway into the grass, and the 7 may be able to catch it. Wow, that was an amazing save by the 7 of Alex Coffey.
What a save, and Rogers was saying, he made a mistake there, did not want the 7 to get to the inside there and challenge him for the lead. He went to cover off with a block, got the block completed, but the 7 of Coffey there having to cross back to the right, just lost the race car, and great hands there in the grass there to keep it straight and somehow still be in the 10th spot here, looking to go forward now on this 56 up ahead.
That was an absolutely phenomenal save by that 7 machine. That is one for the books there, and just a really aggressive block by the 17 of the Rogers. We still have quite a bit of ways left in this race, so I kind of wonder if he knew Alex Coffey had the speed to contend for that, and that's why he did that so early. But man, that was a really aggressive move here on lap 117.
It definitely was a pretty aggressive move, and we'll see if the 7 gets back up there. What does he think about that move? So we'll see about that as we head to 3 and 4 here. 7 going to make the pass, implored, trying to storm his way back up there. And if you do get frustrated by an incident as a driver, sometimes it can make you go a little bit faster, but sometimes driving with anger or driving with a little bit of emotion can lead to mistakes too. So you gotta control that emotion. It's all about taking the emotion and using it for good, not for bad.
But it's so easy to get succumb to the dark side of that power, as it were, because it's just so easy to blame one person, just want to get to that one person and have that one goal. And like you mentioned earlier, Zach, even in the middle of the race, sometimes you got to rein in that horse, rein it in, refocus, resettle, take a deep breath, and just continue on. But right now, Adam Buzzio maintaining about a 0.6 of a second gap to the leader, Gavin Rogers, but can't get away from the 18 of Blaine Wilson. Blaine Wilson doing really well. And right now, Alex Coffey putting down a blistering lap, 34.244. He is currently the fastest car on the track as he is trying to make his way back to the front. And so we see riding along with the 38 of Ford. We see him in front really dive into turn 3 really hard. But that is going to, oh, the 7's going to get loose on the rumble strip. Oh, he's going to come up into the track. 38's going to avoid him. That is going to bring out the caution. 17 is going to get into that outside wall. And it doesn't look like he is going to take anyone with him. But there it is, Zach. That might have been that emotion. Might have played a factor into that wreck. But as we pull up our instant replay.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see this here. He's going to be in this turn 3 and 4 corner. And one of the things you don't want to do, you see the 78 doing it also. Getting those left side tires on that rumble strip. Look at this. As soon as he does it, unloads that race car on the right side. And man, oh man, loose he is. Just trying to hang on to it. You can see the wheels cranked right, trying to keep that car from going left. As soon as they hook up, it cranks it back to the left here. And man, he's just pretty much an innocent passenger there, riding along, locking it up. And everybody doing a great job of getting by. And look, even one guy, super close there on the outside. But great job, everybody. Doing a fantastic job. Also with Coffey wrecking there, locking the brakes up. That could have been much worse. If he just lets off the brake at any point there and rolls and and is unpredictable, we may have had another incident.
That deserved applause all around. Alex Coffey, knowing he was in trouble, locking it down, making sure he didn't move anywhere else into traffic, and then all the other cars on track with him, getting able to go around him, checking up just enough, getting around him for the caution flag to come out. But ladies and gentlemen, that is our 8th caution tonight for the Wicked Racing League. And Zach, we've seen these past couple of weeks, this is round 6 of this series, and earlier on a lot of maybe hesitation, some tiptoeing around people, but these drivers have come to know each other. These guys are pushing each other harder and harder, and it's been noticeable in these last 2 races. A lot of side-by-side racing, a lot of pushing, a lot of shoving, making for some great racing for us up here in the booth.
It really has been some aggressive, great racing. And you know, Rogers, I mean, you just seen the aggression from there from the lead. He says, I do not want to go up this lead. He's been out front all night long, and I think he's known how well that clean air is to be able to manage his tires. And he did not like the 7 going to take a run on him there. He said he was going to cover it off, and unfortunately the 7 makes the mistake there trying to avoid, you know, probably running into the back of that 17, and just unfortunately spins it almost out there, and then he drives his way through and then finally gets into that curb to finally spin it completely out there to bring that caution out. But Coffey going to be back in 15th. He started 18th in this race. He was up in the top 5 by lap almost 30. So, or no, actually, sorry, he was in the top 5 by lap 15. So he can easily make his way right back into this picture. We'll watch that 7 climb his way through.
Most definitely, but he's got to keep those tires off the curbing. And you mentioned it upsets it. And what that, ladies and gentlemen, that can't quite see it very well, but that curbing isn't flat. It's actually raised. It's ribbed. So as you're going over it, it's bouncing the suspension of the wheel up and down to both sides. And that's what's causing that upset. The wheel doesn't have 100% contact with the surface, and just a little bit of any kind of adverse input will spin that car around. And that's what we saw there. And that was really interesting. And you mentioned it there, Zach. The 78 did it too, but he was able to keep it going forward, and I think that's just because the 7 knew he had a little bit more momentum and a little bit more speed and was hoping to get a run on that 78.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right about that, Carl. And you know, it's just one of those racing ordeals, man. And it's what we've seen a lot here tonight with 8 cautions, and 2 of those being stage cautions, so only 6 cautions for incident. And that's a really good job through 120 laps, man. I tell you, I've done plenty of gateway races here in my time, and I've done some that, you know, personally have had many cautions here well into the teens.
And it is definitely not indicative of this league either, because this is such a difficult track. All day, I mean, at least the past couple of days, looking through the Discord, these guys have been practicing putting down laps, and a lot of these drivers have struggled showed a lot of issues with just about anything that you can think of. Too tight, too loose. It's been all over the place with these guys. But as this track changes, it's actually getting cooler. 83 degrees track temp from the previous 90 degrees. And I wonder if that may be also affecting some of the handling issues these guys are experiencing. But right now, we are experiencing side-by-side action. Pace car is going to take that hard left onto pit lane, and we are going to go green again with the field in tow of the 17 and the 21. Adam Buzzio was fast, was just waiting for an opportunity. This may be his opportunity to take this lead, but we are about to find out as the 17 looks to stretch it to the end of that restart zone, and we are green again here for the Wicked Racing League. It looks like the 3 is going to cross over the 21, the 18 of Blaine Wilson. We are 3 wide going into turn 1 with the 19 on the outside. Buzzio not getting a great launch there as the 3 of TJ Roberts goes to make that pass.
And I tell you what, you see the eyes of Nigel Christensen there. He's on a driver cam right now, and he saw all of that happening right ahead of him. As Halsman right on the back bumper here into the entry of 3. You can see the deep breath coming from Nigel there. As it's a tough racetrack here, and some very aggressive racing going on here on lap 125. And these guys showing no mercy on these restarts because they know if we get a good bit more restarts, this is how you got to make your passes.
Look at that input. He's been able to turn that steering wheel 90 degrees. With that much input, Zach, how much can you really rely on that right front? How much more does that wear on the right front trying to get that much turn into the car?
Yeah, it really does really wear those tires out when you crank on that wheel. And that is the one advice, if you give any advice to iRacers out there on the oval side of things, how to get faster, it's all about not using that wheel. I mean, if you have to crank on that wheel to get the car to turn in the corner, then you're driving it right. So you got to be able to really slow it down and use less wheel. That really not makes those tires hurt as much as, look at this contact here. TJ Roberts in that 3 battling it out with Blaine Wilson in that 18, trying to break it to the top 3 for the first time tonight. It's a little bit of beat and banging going down that back straightaway, man. But I tell you what, it's fun to watch for us up here in the booth for sure. Maybe a little frustrating for these drivers in the cockpit.
Matt started in turn 1 of that previous lap. The 18 got to the inside of the 3 and kind of drove it up. They were pretty much door to door, touching through that entire corner. It's like the 18 can't quite get it. The 19 of Stephen Borbell as we ride along the roof cam, just trailing along these two. Stephen Borbell kind of trying to get into the top 5, trying to get that position from the 18 to Blaine Wilson. Blaine Wilson putting on a decent show tonight. Was started further back, but right now has a good long car run. He's hoping you can get that long car run on a long run and maybe move up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely looking for that for sure as we ride on board here. Looking ahead is, a little bit of contact, possibly even to the 19 there from the 78, but we were riding on board. You couldn't even tell actually that the contact happened. That was actually somewhat impressive to see those cars not really make too much of a fuss as they made slight door-to-door contact through the corner, and Borbell holds on to that top 5 spot here as we are 129 of 200, and Buzzio holding that second spot about a half a second behind Roberts.
Nigel Christensen trying to take the inside line away from the 78 Mason Houseman for 6th position. Nearly got into the door panel there and almost run him up the track and won. But Jamie Plord right behind this mess is trying to gain his position as well. Mason Houseman trying to fight back, going into 3 and is going to dive it really hard into the corner. The 20 backs it up just a little bit, going for the crossover. The 38, on those rumble strips, and you saw him get out of the throttle, lose that momentum. That is definitely going to cause an issue for the 20, letting the 38 up forward, and the 7, Alex Coffey with an earlier incident, get into this battle, going into turn 1. Alex Coffey on a move right now, and this is for 6th position.
What a spot there. Big run from the 7 out of 4. Sticks his nose in the outside and makes it happen as he goes for a 2-for-1 deal down in 1 and 2 around the outside of Plord and Christensen. Is now Plord to the inside of Christensen. Is that 20 dropping back here, but now that 77 of Kubanek, who was involved in a caution not too long ago, is going to go by him also.
The 20 of Nigel Christensen really struggling as the car cool or the track cools down. Not the same story for his teammate Blaine Wilson sitting up there in 4th position. They kind of tell the two stories. Earlier on, Zach, we were talking about these guys in the first stage at the end being the fastest car on the track. Right now, Nigel not quite seeing that speed at the moment. His teammate, on the other hand, doing really well for himself up in that 4th position.
That he is, man, doing very, very well as this battle ensues. The 78, a Hossman and Coffee here going at it off of 4, and Coffee going to make another pass. Remember, we started back in that 15th position, now already back up to 6, just showing the pace of that 7 machine.
Ooh, the 78 with a late break into that turn 1, causing him to really check up coming out of the exit. He's going to lose another position to the 38 of Jamie Plord in that Tide monster machine in that Chevy. So that's going to be an interesting aspect for Mason. And it just goes to show that you don't lose just one position. If you lose that optimal line, you're losing 2, sometimes 3 positions if your competitors are close enough behind you. And right now, Alex Coffey putting down a clinic, running his way to the 4th. In fact, that was the fastest lap of the, or at least that was the fastest lap of that lap, 34.5. So Alex Coffey determined to get back to the front.
Definitely determined here. He is. His man is, you know, he's feels a little bit maybe robbed there as he's racing for a lead. Made that mistake there racing for that spot, and then just made that unfortunate mistake on the curb. So, you know, he's got to feel like, man, I got time, especially, you know, the length of this race really plays into the fact of that too. Is, you know, he can have a lot of urgency right now, but there's still plenty of time to go. 65 laps in this race. That is a long time here at Gateway.
A long time indeed, long enough. We're still going to have a green flag stop. Alex Coffey did stop there. In fact, he has about half the life of the tires than the rest of the field around him. So that would kind of contribute to his moving through the field this easily. But everyone else is on lap 33, coming on 34 of this run. I expect the run to be able to go 50, 55 laps, maybe a little more with that caution we just have. So we can be guaranteed, unless something drastic were to happen, we may see a start of green flag pit stops when the fuel window opens. So we have to keep an eye out on that. But right now, keeping an eye out, the 9 of Chad Bean really here at the back of the pack with fresher tires. He's only had 15 laps on these tires, but he is struggling back here. He led a couple laps earlier on strategy, but ever since then, faded to the back and can't seem to find a way forward.
Yeah, he really hasn't been able to find his way back up there, but trying to fight here with Harrison. As Bean is always going to have a run here off of 4, trying to get that position here as they head down the 1. Going to have the nose there, but the Harrison drives it in deep and it covers him off. Great racing here going on back from position.
Great racing from back here in the 16th, 15th, but also for the 5th position. Sorry, Alex Coffey has caught up and made ground on the 19, Stephen Borbell, and in fact is starting to heat up the bumper going down the front straightaway. Alex Coffey driving like a man possessed right now. Only about a little under 4 seconds behind our leader, Gavin Rogers, but definitely trying to make these cars, picking them off one at a time, going by the 19 as it looks like he's going to make a move down the back straightaway. Going to have his corner at the corner, and he may have that inside position going into 3. So the Alex Coffey just putting in a clinic right now.
Yeah, and last time off of 4, Coffey actually got into the wall. So just showing how fast he is. He can get into the wall and still make a pass on that same exact lap. So Coffey just continuing that trend forward. But look at this Plord with that racing. Stephen Borbell had a little bit of a checkup and a little bit of loose off of 4. Plord thought about it for a second, trying to take that spot. So right there, trying to be opportunistic there as these guys are. Roberts up ahead, having a little moment for him as he swerves down the back straightaway. As Plord going to look to that inside once again, but just not be there.
You know, I got to give a shout out to Jamie Plord there. He was really confident going into this race. He's backed it up. He's been able to stay in the top 10, being able to get points, and now he's been out of trouble trying to make moves on the 19, Stephen Borbell. The 38 doing a really, really good job today, just keeping it clean and keeping it consistent. So hats off to Jamie Plord. But right now, Stephen Borbell really maybe struggling with the handling there. Oh, as you see the 7 get really close to that outside wall again. But 19 is under attack by the 38, but can't quite The 38 can't quite reel the 19 in enough to make that pass. And Zach, especially at a trek like this, it's not a mile and a half. It's not your typical quote-unquote cookie cutter. How do you set up a pass like this in either end of this track? You've seen it either way, but how do you set it up like that?
It can be very tough to set up. That is one of the key features. And if I, sitting in the driver's seat myself, if I was to try to set up a pass, there's Florida there trying to do it. This is where I would do it. It's got to be out of 2. If you can get to someone's inside coming out of 2, get the good run to get a nose ahead here, heading down into 3, I think you could clear him here by the center to slide up here on the exit. Look, Ford does a great job of doing exactly what I said there and getting the spot. So I think if you're going to get it done, you want to do it that way, but you don't want to give that up there because the run from the outside there comes from Borbell.
McLaurin must have been listening to you, Zach. He's got you tuned in as he's going to drive it in there, kind of cut off the line of the 19, take away that clean air. 19 going to perform a crossover, but doesn't quite have the speed, and that pass took a couple of laps, but it is completed. Borbell not done yet, though, going into turn 3, but right now I feel Jamie Port has the line and he has the speed, but taking out wide entries, he's going to take a really shallow exit, have the run going down the front straightaway, and that should seal that position for the 38. And right in front of him, the 7 of Alex Coffey. So we have a good little group here with Mason Hausman sitting there as well in 12th position. But it's a little interesting story for Mason Hausman. He's been to the front, he's been in the back. Right now he's just kind of settled. So doing well, in the 9th position. So doing really well for himself in the 78.
That it really is, man. After that win at Watkins Glen, looking good here tonight at Gateway. Also, is this 7 continues his charge forward, but tell you what, Blaine Blitzen was able to get up to 3rd with a mistake. TJ Roberts, our 2nd place qualifier and winner last week at Daytona, major mistake coming off of turn 2, and slid his way back now as his teammate is going to be trying to close him down here in this 7 machine.
Well, Zach, we saw that 3 machine a couple laps ago down the front straightaway, I believe, get really squirrely and trying to have to kind of recover it and get off the throttle a little bit. So the 3 machine getting a little loose here towards the end of this run, towards the end of this fuel run, as we are about 42 laps into the last time our leaders at least hit pit road. About 24 laps for the 7 machines you see go down across the start-finish line, but the 38 behind him doing really well, maintaining with those fresher tires.
Yeah, that 38 definitely sticking right with the 7, showing why he was so excited about this race before. His Borbell, big out of shape moment there for him as this group continues to close it down, really from 3rd all the way to that 5th position of Borbell back there. It's about only 2 seconds separating that group. But I tell you what also is heating up is Adam Buzzio once again starting to show that long run pace. The 21 closing down this 17, and this would be such a story for Buzzio to come out here and get this one from the 17 here late in the going.
It is really late. Oh, as we see another car have to gather it up out of turn 2. Don't know which one that was, honestly, can't quite see it, but man, a lot of these drivers getting close to the end of this fuel run, and a lot of these drivers struggling to get the power down, but Adam Buzzio slowly creeping up on our race leader. But it's hard to make a move right now, Zach. We are close to opening our fuel window, about 54 laps to go. I would say in the next 10 laps, the fuel window would open and get ready for green flag stop. So with the green flag stops looming, you have this strategy with pit road being such a wild card. How do you play this? If you get to the guy, do you want to pass him, or do you just want to wait it out, see if you can't make a move during the green flag pit stops?
I think you want to go ahead and get that pass done if you're Buzzio here. As soon as you can get by him, you can try to open up a gap, and then that gives you the ability to try to maybe go a little bit longer in the run for yourself. So we'll see if that's what Buzzio elects to do, but it's going to be tough here to get by Rogers, who's been super strong all night long. But like you said, we are definitely nearing a pit window where someone could start to think about coming down here to make a stop. I think they're going to probably take it as long as they possibly can just to make sure no type of caution comes out.
You want to make sure no caution comes out, or at least you don't want to be that caution, because if that's the case, you're going to be pitting at the back. You're going to have to take time, maybe even repair damage, take even more time to get that done, and that just makes you fall further and further back on the grid with how fast these guys are running. The 21 got really close, waited really, really late to break into that turn 1. Might be trying something different as we see the 3 car head into pit road of TJ Roberts, and we see the 23 Christian DeRoches hit pit road. So here we go. Green flag stops starting as we speak right now. Leaders staying on the track.
Yeah, I think these leaders are going to go a little bit longer, but yeah, I can't confirm. TJ Roberts there having trouble multiple times. We saw him, like you said, on the back straightaway that one time you pointed out, Carl. He was the car that was having the moment, and just like he did about 4 laps before that to give the position to Blaine Woodson for third. Then coming off a 4, 2 laps later, he would get into the wall, so had to slowly bring it back to pit road, get service done on that 3 machine, but having a tough time as TJ Roberts here after he's coming out of pit road. Going to try to rebound after a tough ending to that run.
Oh no, I'm seeing another issue with the 7, I think. He was really slow down that back straightaway, and I can't tell, but he might have some wheel damage on that right front. So the wall claiming another victim here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. The 7 of Alex Coffey. Fast indeed, but can't seem to keep it out of the wall and keep the car clean. But right now, Adam Buzzio and Gavin Rogers still on track while these cars all make their pit stops. So here we go, and it does look like the 7 has that damage. He's going to take that faster pair and 4 tires and fuel. So 7 may be out a little bit later, but he's going to be able to come back and compete.
Yeah, he definitely is going to have, luckily for his sake, only had to go down the back straightaway with that broken right front and around pit road. So going to lose some time there, but at the end of the day, have the faster pair still, so going to be able to luck out here, keep that car nice and clean to the end of this race, hopefully for himself. But the one thing I've seen for a lot of guys is coming off a 2, the car just wants to snap and just really break loose on them, and then guys are overcorrecting right back into the wall, and that's where you're seeing these broken right fronts from.
Zach, we've been talking about it as we watch the 78 Mason Houseman make his way onto that pit entry road. But we've been talking about it for quite some time, how different this car is. It's so much more sensitive to the inputs, throttle, steering, and that's just, this track makes you have to use a precise combination of both. You can't steer it too much, you can't overcorrect too much, you can't get on the throttle too much, you spin. We've seen all of these situations, all of these symptoms throughout this race, and just goes to the testament of how difficult this car can be to drive.
It really does, Carl. I mean, this car's a handful, man, especially when you're shifting gears, doing all these different things. There's some different agendas going on back here. Some guys are slicing and dicing. That's Christian DeRoches in the 23, going around Chad Bean, who's yet to pit, but DeRoches has in the 23. So getting to see a little bit of difference there on tires, man. So tire difference is a factor as you see them drive away.
Right now, our leaders are on lap 52 of this run, and I don't see any change at the moment for that. We're going to go and continue on for lap 53, and Zach, we mentioned the limit of that fuel window, maybe 50, 55 laps. They had a caution, so maybe a little more, but got to be getting a little nervous on how much fuel they have, and also how much time extra they're going to spend on pit road trying to fill the tank up. That would have to be in the back of your mind as you run these laps out.
Very well possibly could play into a factor here as see Borbell there battling, but now Mr. Roach is in the 78th there battling also. As this group is all over the place. We got pit stops transpiring. You see it here. It's going to be Plord along with Buzzio and that 19 of Borbell.
And these guys making clear 45 laps to go. This should really put them comfortably, even if we need to go into overtime like we did last week. You never know what could happen, so you got to be careful and be conscious of that situation. You never know what could happen here at Gateway, but these guys have done a really good job as the 78 tries to go around the 11 of D'Amico, and the 23 Disroach is going to try and do the same thing here. But right now, Gavin Rogers still on the track, and right now actually on pit road access to the 17, our leader, finally making his pit stop with 45 laps to go, and that will cycle Nigel Christensen to the lead, maybe to get a couple of points to help his playoff run.
It's definitely an interesting cycle here happening as Rogers is coming his way down the pit road. Buzzio, that one lap earlier, it's going to be interesting to see where they cycle out. Will he be able to jump out in front, or did Rogers do a good enough job on pit entry here in that lap before?
Well, how well, Zach, does a one-lap undercut really help you, especially with a 1.25 mile racetrack? Does it help? Can it help? Can it make it that much better? Can you use those tires for that one lap? Will it actually make a difference? I guess we will find out as the 17 is now on the pit exit from his outlap.
Yeah, he's on that exit of pit road. Buzzio coming off of turn 2. It's going to be side by side, I think, for that lead possibly as they head to 3. Man, oh man, Buzzio tried to undercut it. I don't know if he's going to have enough. Did you see Plord, these guys back here can confirm Buzzio not able to get there within half a car length. Look at this, Barbell Plord into contact as they head down into the grass. That's going to be contact there more as the 20 gets sent off the racetrack.
Wow, and I can't believe we keep it green, no caution. That was a really wild ride that the third 8 went on. It had some damage inflicted between him and the 20. We're 3 wide going down the front straightaway. Mason Houseman, Richard Wolsifer, Kubanek on the outside. Wolsifer going to let up. Oh, 78's going to lock up, and that's going to cause an issue, causing the 77 to wash up the track. So the 56 of Richard Wolsifer just trying to ride along and just enjoy this. But Zach, we have a track temp 82 degrees. It's cloudy. Could these cold tires be contributing to all these lockups and just really erratic driving behavior all of a sudden with these cars?
It is very, very possible, Carl. And man, I tell you, these guys are fighting these cars right now as you see some cloud cover just getting a little bit darker. As it cools down there on that track, it could get a little bit more loose. That's the thing, you know, colder tires tend to be a little bit more free, and that's the case as you see guys just coming up on Christensen, our leader here, and this 20 just almost running him over here as you can see the difference on new tires.
And that's just an unfortunate situation. You don't want to get caught up on strategy and just try having to let these guys go by you. That was just an unfortunate situation for Nigel there, where there were 2 cars fighting for position in this 38 and the 78, trying to get around him, and just innocent bystander is the best I can describe it. But right now, the 13, that is Ryan Harrison in 3rd, but getting passed by Gavin Rogers. It looks like Gavin is just going to try and move his way through the field. Is Alex Coffey on 10 lap, or about 6 lap older tires, trying to get there behind him, but can't quite close that gap as Adam Buzzer really struggling to catch up to the 17.
Yeah, that 1 lap earlier, it was so close to being able to do the undercut, but you can see Rogers has now been able to stretch his legs out here and really open it up. But the pit cycles still haven't cycled through. Many drivers still have yet to pit. As Christensen actually from the lead is pitting now. Bean still out there, and Coffey actually still ahead of Rogers with his early pit stop. So definitely some interesting moments still to play out in this race with under 40 laps to go in our final pit stop sequence just playing out. We're going to head to our final commercial break of the night up here, as it's been a wild ride up to this point here at Gateway. We've had a long night, and Rogers has had a long night of leading some laps. So we're going to see how he can figure it out here in the final 40, but it's going to be a battle, no doubt. Buzzio, who's going to have it for him? Can Coffey battle him off? It's going to be the questions all around here. This is the Wicked Racing League and Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We'll be back in a few moments, folks.
Start your engines! 4, 3, 2, 1, green screen. No laser grip whatsoever, up sideways everywhere. Come on, man, do what you can. The vibration in this car is the worst vibration that I've ever had, and the shifter's broken again. following. They're wrecking, they're splitting, and it's a complete mayhem.
We have a wreck at the front. 19 goes down into the 7, takes out the 00.
They're 5 wide behind for Finn. Oh my, the 5 wide here, this ain't gonna work, is it? They're already wrecking into turn 1, and now coming through that of turn 2. This is it, the Daytona. Oh no, they're wrecking contact. Zeds gets into the wall, gonna be scattering on the outside. Drivers on the apron, drivers coming out of nowhere. Edison on the outside, trying to get the win, and it's William Edison stealing it at the line.
Into the wall, the 18 trying to block. 77 to get into the 18. That leaves 3 of TJ Roberts. 17 to Gavin Rogers. 3 of TJ Roberts is gonna steal the win here.
What second fiddle so many times last season? Christopher Wade wins the season 5 Daytona 200.
And we are back, race fans, under caution again for the 9th time here for the Wicked Racing League Buttkicker Cup Series. We didn't get to see it, barely triggered anything, but the 17 was trying to pass the 7 of Alex Coffey for the lead on older tires. Coming out of turn 2, had an incident. They both went to the inside wall, had some damage. So our leaders, our two arguably fastest cars of the night, are currently out in the back and trying to recover. That is the 21 Adam Buzzio. Blaine Wilson in the 18 is going to be great position in the front row. And so this is going to be a wild kind of turn of events here for this this race here tonight, Zach, as we've seen our 2 fastest cars have issues.
Yeah, that was very interesting indeed. Is like, to me, Coffey just spun the tires coming up off of 2, and Rogers an innocent bystander there for Coffey's incident. Man, that's really gonna set Rogers back in this 10th spot, and with Buzzio out front, we've seen how strong Buzzio's been on the longer runs. This is going to be a true test here. Can Rogers get around this 21 with this limited amount of time?
Well, right now with that crossing the stripe there, we're at 32 laps to go. Lights are off on the pace car. So, guys, we're going to get side by side and get ready to go again. But right now, Zach, we have a lot of cars that haven't seen the fronts. In the front, Blaine Wilson in the 18, the 21 Adam Buzzio. That is Stephen Borbell in the 19. TJ Roberts been flirting with the front all night long, but now he is second row inside, opportunity to take the lead. And just you know, another heartbreak for 17. We mentioned it, I think it was last week. He might have been able to get the Freaky Fast and had an incident at the end of the race and losing that lead. So here we go, end of the race again, losing the lead for the 17. But right now, 32 laps to go here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, getting ready to go green after our 9th caution flag of the night. And a great night it has been for racing, seeing a lot of beating and banging, a lot of moving around. But here we go again for the 9th time going green. Pace car is on pit road. Green flag is in the hands of Barney, the flagman, and these guys are going to make their way down the long front straightaway to the Geico restart zone, and the 21 is just going to launch as soon as he sees it. No one else is ready for him. He's going to be alone at the lead, and side by side, going 3 wide here at turn 1, trying to get this position early is the 17 to Gavin Rogers. He's going to slide up the track a little bit, but side by side here for 6 is the 38 and the 78. Ooh, looks like the 78 might have gotten into the wall there. 3 of TJ Roberts going to the inside of the 19 of Borbell, trying to get that position going into 3.
Yeah, definitely a lot of big moves being made. Rogers behind this group, trying to still make stuff happen, but right here, the battle's still happening. Borbell, Roberts going at each other, but here comes Haussmann, here comes Ford. All 4 of these drivers right on top of one another.
And they are not getting an inch. They're all trying to take any positions they can. And the 3 of TJ Roberts still side by side with 78. Stephen Borbell in front of the 78. These guys can't go anywhere. They are slowing the rest of the field down, allowing our 2 front runners of Buzzio and Wilson a little bit of a breakaway. And that's allowing other cars to get in line. Ford trying the outside line, trying to go outside of the 78. TJ Roberts really struggling early on this restart.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of struggle there for the 3, and right now the 20 trying to hold on the spot, but a caution flies here, and not to see exactly what happened here. Steve T. Cole is on the back front straightaway, spun around.
Steve T. Cole, the 96, and looks like the 23, Christian DeRoches, had an incident getting out of turn 4. And again, 10th caution of the night, Zach. And these guys are getting really testy right now. There's no kind of give. It's all taken. A lot of these guys are bumping fenders, and a lot of these guys don't have any of those fast repairs left. So they're going to be a little more careful if they want to finish this race.
No doubt, Carl, for sure. We've seen some heavy racing here in the last few moments, and we'll see here what exactly happened here to Steve T. Cole. Is, like you said, I think Christian DeRoche is in the 23 there, going to come up off the exit, catch that 96, and he's going to get a little bit of a love tap that probably doesn't end in the love that he wants, as it's a head-on collision into the front wall, and that's going to give him required repairs on that 96. And if he's used this fast repair, it may be the end of the night for this 96 machine.
And that is just a really bad spot to take one of those hits. You're already on the throttle. You're still turning the wheel. The last thing you want is someone on your bumper lifting that rear end up, giving you that shove. That's just kind of a perfect storm for that situation. But the 3 of TJ Roberts, the 7 of Alex Coffey, making their way back down the pit road. So a couple of front runners again going to the back via pit road. So the 3 TJ Rogers we saw, he did not get a good restart, so he's going to try and maybe fix that situation.
Yeah, possibly looking here to get himself some fresh tires and some changes, and maybe even some damage repairs on those race cars. So, this 3 of Roberts are taking tires. Well, we'll see. Is Coffey able to take tires? I think Coffey maybe doesn't have a set, and I think he's just repairing damage on the nose of his race car. So, tough ordeal there for him in that 7 machine, but trying to get and salvage what he can here after getting involved in that incident there.
Yeah, the 7 machine has quite a bit of right side damage, but right now, great break for the 56. Richard Wolsifer had an incident earlier on and was trying to fix some damage, but with that caution, he will be back on the lead lap, ready to contend. And we saw Richard, he's been in the top 10. We've talked about him here off and on, been able to kind of claw his way back and forth through the field, but right now, the field's starting to kind of diminish slightly with some of the roughed up cars, so looking to finish strong is the 56 of Wolsifer.
Yeah, definitely looking to finish strong for sure. You had that good qualifying run, and we'll try to finish out the race here in a good spot. But here's we come to 25 laps to go this next time by. Buzzio in first, Rogers back in 7th. Buzzio's got to be feeling good, especially the thing I look at, the biggest thing is, a lot of times, we don't bring this up, but there's a lot of teams out here. In 2018 racing, they have a lot of teammates here stacked up with each other. I mean, you got Buzzio leading, you got Wilson in 2nd, and Borbell there in 3rd. That's the first 3 of them there as teammates. Then back in 6th, you got Christensen, who's right beside Rogers, who can try to hold Rogers back maybe for Buzzio. But for Rogers, he's going to have to go through a wall of teammates here to get to Buzzio, I think, by the end of this race. It's going to be a tough ordeal, but if he can get a few spots here and there, get a few cautions, you never know. He could be restarting in the 2nd spot one of these times, and it's going to get a little bit feisty.
So, Zach, you're talking about teammates, and you usually hear that the super speedways, you have Daytona, you have Talladega, now the new Atlanta repave. But here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, all these teammates, how much can a teammate really help? Everyone's really trying to win this race, and even if you're a teammate, you're not just going to lay over. You may race them differently, but how in this situation can a teammate help you to win this race?
Yeah, like you said, super speedway racing, you brought that up. It's a push there. Here is different. It's defense. No offensive teaming up here, really. It's all about defense right here. Trying to hold back the group that's behind them and get everybody on the team the best finish they can. And that's why I think you see right here, Buzzio, he's going to start up top. He's going to allow his teammate of Wilson to start on that bottom lane. That also allows Borbell there too. So that's a free lane for both of those drivers to really get this good restart here and be able to time this well. So we'll see how the 3 teammates work together on this, but Yeah, it's really a defense thing. You know, you want your teammate to be the best job at holding somebody up and not allowing an easy pass. So we'll see how it works out. Buzzio's got the help that he needs. But if he makes a mistake, maybe one of his teammates like Blaine Wilson here in second could be looking to take advantage of it.
It is definitely going to be an interesting restart as we see the 78 of Houseman, our Watkins Glen winner. He has been really aggressive here later on in this race trying to get those positions. We're going to see how aggressive he is, knowing all these teammates are around him and behind him. And right away, Adam Buzzio gets a great launch off of away from the field, really. 78 Houseman equal side by side with the 18 of Wilson, but the 18 with the inside line is going to take that position away, maybe wash up just a little bit, but we stay green and clean as these guys go through the backstretch.
Oh man, and some big moves being made back there. Gavin Rogers made almost through. I mean, he's going to make another one back there going down in the 3, and it's side by side with Christensen as he's got to back out of it. Is back behind this group here at Buzzio. It is Rogers going for everything for broke in the 17. He wants another victory to his name.
In that one lap, he gained 2 positions. Really remarkable driving, taking it 3 wide. Ooh, there's going to be a lockup from the 19 of Borbell, getting the 17 onto his bumper. The 17 trying to take a low line, but can't quite make the run. He's going to get in line to the 19. The 21 has a great lead right now, almost a second away from his teammate, 18 of Blaine Wilson, while as the rest of the field squabbles behind him. 17 getting into the door of the 19, making that pass into 3. So right now, 17 passing the 19, setting his eyes on the 78.
The aggression being shown by that 17. He is trying everything in his power to get up there and not waste any time. Anytime he gets a little bit of a sniff to look to someone's inside, he does it, and he makes a mistake, though. That allows Christensen to get by him in the 20, and that's a big moment there for Gavin Rogers. Maybe just pushing too much, going to look to dive again there to the inside, and man, just trying to do a lot of dive bomb maneuvers. He gets to the outside of that 20, and this is getting a little bit wild back here.
Wild indeed. The 17 bobbing and weaving, trying to get and bouncing off the outside wall. Turn 4. Oh, gets into the 19, gets off the wall again. The 3 of TJ Roberts is coming through, possibly with fresh tires. Going to get to the inside of the 17, making it 3 wide there in turn 1 for a little bit. The 17 taking the middle line and losing another position to TJ Roberts. That is allowing the 77, the 7, and the 38 into this party. Zach, we have a race on our hands.
That we do, and man, with that 3 on new tires there. Rogers there looking to dive to the inside again, just too hard into the corner. And that's what Rogers is just pushing a little too hard. He's been so good all night out front, but this is what happens when you get farther back and you get kind of pressed with 20 laps to go to have to make up time. You can over push it, and that's what I'm seeing from a lot of lockups and a lot of just overdoing it from that 17. If he just backed it up maybe just a little bit, he would probably make a couple more passes. But I tell you what, who they're going to watch for is that 3 machine on the new tires. He's charging his way up. He's already up to finish.
You mentioned it before, Zach. Sometimes racing with that emotion, racing with that energy can be detrimental to your line, to your racing. And it looks like it is happening to the 17. But right now, the 3 is charging forward. But the battle in front of him is between the 20 and the 78. This is for a third. The 20 giving the 78 just a little bit of the bumper as you see the 18 in front of them, and then the 21 off in the distance, already on the back straightaway. But right now, the 3 of TJ Roberts looking really good with that stop, but there's a caution on the track, the 11th caution on the night. That is the 19 Stephen Borbell, and the 23 Christian DeRoches stuck on the back straightaway, as well as the 11 of Perez D'Amico. Another caution, another restart, Zach.
Wild stuff happening, and we're gonna go to this freaky fast replay, and you're gonna see it here. You're gonna see the Roaches here in the 23, but it all starts up ahead of them. The 17 of Rogers and that 7 of Coffee getting into it. Multiple contacts through the center of the corner. And you're gonna see the aftermath here as the Roach is trying to make it through. Oh, he's gonna lose that race car. Similar to what we've seen with Coffee earlier in the night, of how unstable these cars are on the straight. But the 17 and the 7 getting into it, coming off the corner, and man, just heavy racing going on between those two that has brought out this caution. And right now, we're seeing there you get to see a little bit of the late incident for the 19. Oh, Borbell really heavy into the wall. Unfortunate for him as he flips. But man, you're going to have the 78 of Hossman come down the road along with Christensen. a heavy group of drivers coming down the pit road. I think pitting here might have been a good call.
A lot of these drivers saw what the 3 of TJ Roberts did, last week's winner at Daytona. And as we're riding on board, you see the ride Stephen Borbell went through during that incident. Unfortunately for Stephen, just an innocent bystander with what was going on between the 7 and the 17. And that's the second time tonight we've seen those two drivers, the Coffee and Rogers, get into it on the track. So this is going to be an interesting post-race in the octagon. So this could be fun to see. But right now, TJ Roberts sitting in a really good position, only on 11 lap old tires. Adam Buzzio, Blaine Wilson, 29 laps. So already half the age already on those tires. And TJ Roberts, with the restart coming up, looks to be in a prime position to maybe steal another win.
Well, I tell you what, like you said, they come to blows there, and it's really personally not the first time even for a race. They've had some incidents earlier this season, in my opinion, the 17 and the 7. So definitely hard racing between those two always. And the 17 laid the door on the 7 there, and I think the 7 just decided he wasn't going to back out on the exit there, and they had that incident where the 17 just closed it out there. So definitely wild stuff here, man. But right now, we're all just waiting to see how this is all going to shake out in these final 17 laps, as Gateway has become quite the show, and can confirm also Rogers is going to receive an EOL for that last incident.
And that's just going to make things even more interesting. They'll be really close together, the 17 and the 7, with that EOL. 7 just barely getting off pit road, as well as 17 of Gavin Rogers. They appear to be on the lead lap, but they are probably going to be bumper and bumper again. So we may not see the end of this perhaps rivalry developing. With some arguably two fastest drivers getting into it. 7 pitting again, possibly for damage repair. So going to be interesting as we have 16 coming on 15 laps to go, Zach. And now the race has gone through. We've had 11 caution flags, 9 of them for incidents. Now's crunch time. This is the money. How do you approach this? And do you want to take a 3-wide even on a teammate if it meant the win?
That's it's going to be the big question for sure. And I think I don't know if Buzzio is going to have too much worry about Wilson, his teammate, because he's going to be able to work together here with him, be on the same set of tires. And Buzzio has had the upper hand on his teammate all night long. The one I worry about there is the 3 of Roberts. He has been on those new tires, and he's going to be looking to make his way up through. And then you look back to around 8th position, and that's where new tires are at there with Hausman. So this could get very, very interesting, folks.
Interesting indeed. And there, Chad Bean hasn't had the speed all night. He's kind of been mired there in the back, but led some laps towards the end of the stage and has a point. They're sitting there in 4th position. Not as new tires as TJ Roberts, but newer than the leader. So Chad Bean being in a good spot. 13, Ryan Harrison sitting there 3rd row inside. 56, Richard Wolsifer sitting there too. So this has really cycled the field. A lot of these cars we haven't talked about sitting up here in the top 6. But as I'm talking, these guys are gridded up. Lights are off on the pace car once more. Going through turn 3, we are at 15 to go. When we go green here, it'll be 14 to go. And will we see an overtime like we did last week? So this could be a really exciting finish to the racing here for the Wicked Racing League Buttkicker Series. The pace car is off the track. We were waiting for that long front straightaway. Adam Buzzio just launches off of the corner, turn 4. Blaine Wilson cutting off the line of the 9. Chad Bean allowing the 3. JT Roberts maybe take that inside. Chad Bean almost missing the corner, getting into the 18. Blows it up just enough though, and the 3 of TJ Roberts going to get into the 18. Going to spin the 18 a little bit. The 18 going to go sideways down the back straightaway. No caution yet, but right now, there is that caution for the 18, and that was initiated by contact of the 3 trying to move the 18 a little bit. And that's another spot where you don't want to get tapped. That was on the corner exit again, and that seems to be a common thing here tonight, is getting tapped on that corner exit, spinning you around. Got
to feel for Blaine Wilson there in that 18 machine, man. came up just a little bit short of Daytona last week there with a incident coming to the start-finish line and wasn't able to pull off the victory there after leading coming off a 4. But here tonight, second position, just a little bit of contact from Roberts there and sends him around there, around on the back straightaway. And 12th caution of the night, 10th 1-4 an incident, and man, 13 laps to go. This one is drawing out here to the end, and Buzzio is just saying, man, can we please just get this one going? And, you know, the big thing for him also is you got to look back there. There's some tires coming from behind. Buzzio is got to probably like actually these caution laps a some bit to take some laps away.
He may be liking them, but these cautions have kind of dwindled away his teammates. He's lost the 18, he's lost the 19. The 20 is still mired there in 4th, maybe 6th position right now. So definitely not the friendly environment he was used to a couple of restarts ago. And with that 3 of TJ Roberts, you know he's going to be aggressive. He's showing it later in the run. He has the tires. So as a driver, Zach, how much do you balance driving out your mirror? How do you defend? We saw how wrong defending can go earlier between the 7 and the 17. So how hard do you race out that mirror?
It's tough. If you're Buzzio, you know you got the pace to hold these guys off. You know how good you've been all night. The concern is the Goodyear tires. Again, like I said, big difference here when it comes to tires. TJ Roberts right here, 173 was the last time this 3 machine hit pit road. It was 155 for Adam Buzzio. So you're looking at almost upwards of 20 laps. It's 18 laps of a difference there on tires. Then you got to look back to Chad Bean. He's pitted on 166 there. So he's also looking at about 11 lap fresher tires, along with Ryan Harrison in 4th. So all 3 cars behind here, Buzzio, all on fresher tires. Then you start to worry really big when you look back to Hossman, who's on 10 lap fresher tires in Roberts. So you're looking at 28 laps fresher back in 5th of Hossman and Christensen. They may be the 2 drivers looking to steal it here late to go, along with Kubanek. This could get very, very wild coming down to the end here with 11 to go. I think if you're this 21 out front, you're going to hope to get, restarts that really bring cautions very quickly, because I think if he can get he can hold these guys off for 1, 2, 3, 4 laps maybe, but for 11 laps straight here under green flag situations, I don't see that being very likely. So Buzzio going to be really hoping here this works out for him.
Well, these last 2 restarts Buzzio has been in the lead for. He started as soon as he's, able to. He's really gotten that launch, and separated himself from the field. We hit it on it earlier with Gavin Rogers. He looked like he was doing the same thing, but on the opposite end, waiting to the very last moment to go. If you mix it up, do you think you can get your opponent right now? Or do you take that chance and get that jump like you want? Like you mentioned, maybe have a little bit of that cushion so it takes that much more time for those newer tires to catch up to you.
Yeah, I think you want as big a jump as possible. So you're going to try to do your best here to pull the tomfoolery. You got to really make these drivers think that you're going to do one thing and do the opposite. So Roberts is going to be here in the 3 trying to judge it the best he can on the bottom, which can be tough. I would personally, if I'm restarting in 2nd, I would much rather restart on the bottom lane like Buzzio's letting him do here than restart up top. It's much easier as a driver to see on our right side of our cars than the left side. We have a lot of that A-pillar blocking what we can see from that left side view. So when you're on the outside of somebody, it's much tougher to see that car. You kind of got to go off almost just the sound of the race car beside you. Right here, it's going to be a lot easier for Roberts to see what's out the right side of his race car here and be able to judge this. This is going to be very, very wild, folks. Make sure you stay tuned here, because 10 laps here is going to turn into 10 laps of mayhem.
And on the flip side, Zach, yeah, you can see that car, but we have seen it all night where you miss a break point, you wash up the track, you force the guy outside of you up the track. So, and we've seen the 3 be really aggressive, so we are going to have to really watch and pay attention, ladies and gentlemen, to see how these 2 leaders duke it out going into turn 1. But right now, pace car off the track, we are about to go green down that long front straightaway, Adam. Oh, they are trying to bounce around, and that was not a clean restart by the 21. Looks like the 3 went. That'll have to be maybe under review. That's going to be interesting. But man, that 3 got a really good launch, and that was before the 21 was going. But right now, the 13 below the 21 trying to get around him.
Yeah, that did not go well. TJ Roberts black flagged for that restart, and clearly so went before our leader Adam Buzzio. He tried to time it and just misjudged it. Last week got the win at Daytona. Not going to happen here tonight as he's got that black flag. And right now still keeping his car out front, probably pleading his case, trying to get that flag gone. But I don't see any way you can plead it. Buzzio is going to be saying, give me the clean air, because behind him, they're battling, because I think it's going to be the 20 Christensen is the one who's going to be the one to watch out for. He's got the fresh tires flying on through.
Well, there was a lot of banging. There was a lot of pushing on that restart. So this is going to be a very interesting situation that's going to put race control in. But as we're riding along the 20, trying to make the inside move to the 13, see the 56 of Wilsonfer, and right behind him, I think that's the 19 of Stephen Borbell. And they are going to go 3 wide down the front straightaway. The 78 of Mason Houseman, not afraid, taking that inside line, going into turn 1, and they are going to back out just a little bit. The 13 washing high into the wall, almost taking the 56 with him at Wilsonfer. Wow, really crazy racing. Oh, 13 gets to the wall, into taking in the 56, and the caution will come out for the 13th time tonight at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
And whoa, man, this sets up an interesting situation. I think if you're Buzzio, you like this much more than what was going to play out there with 7 to go. It would have been very, very interesting because we had some drivers storming up through on the fresh ones. That was Nigel Christensen there, Stephen Borbell, Mason Hossman, Jimmy Kubadek, and it's going to be Gavin Rogers there in 7th. So Rogers making his way back to 7th. What a rebound here, but you can see there Richard broken right front of that machine. 13th caution of the night. It's been a wild one here at Gateway.
Wild and just almost unhinged. It's been just absolutely crazy driving as the race has gone along. It started with some harmless bumping, which turned into some really intense beating and banging and touring on the side, left and right, getting off the wall. And this is some a wild turn of events, having these cautions come so rapidly, and Adam Buzzio still trying to be up front. TJ Roberts pleading his case, it sounds like, for that lead. So here we go. More questions on the lead. So I guess we're trying to work that out for you, ladies and gentlemen. But as we do, you can see we are 5 laps to go. Not in the realm of overtime yet, but 5 laps to go. You never know what could happen, and so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned after the race. Don't go anywhere. We will have our top 3 finishes of this wild finish and be able to talk to them and get their sights and sounds of the race, especially the last few laps, Zach. And that's always sometimes my favorite part, is getting the insights of our drivers.
No doubt, Carl. It's always fun to get that. And interesting to see here. They've given it EOL to Roberts here to put him at the end of the line here, but he has not obeyed it. He's still, I think, pleading the case, and at this point, I don't know how much he can plead it anymore. I feel like it's pretty clear cut. That was a jump start from that 3.
And I guess it all depends on the rules. Everyone was bumper to bumper. He might have gotten pushed, but if it's clear cut, even if he does clear the pit road or the start finish before the leader, that may just kind of seal his fate. And as you see, he pulls over to the inside, letting the rest of the field go by, and he's going to take that EOL. Looks like his appeal might have been denied there, but lights are still on, 4 to go here, so we actually may be getting ready to set up for an overtime finish. Zach, what do you think?
Oh man, this has got me nervous up here, guys. I tell you that much. Is got Buzzio in first on the oldest set of tires out in the field. He did a great job there on that last start. He's going to have his teammates here in 2nd and 3rd. So he's going to have a little bit more of a wall behind him. Rogers is there in 5th. We know he's going to be trying to make every move possible there. I mean, he's been kind of dive bombing it almost every single corner he gets. So I would expect that 17 to be trying to make a move here. this could get very, very spicy coming down to the end. Buzzio, though, in a good spot with the control of the restart. That's the big thing for him, and especially because this is most likely only going to be 2 laps when we go back green.
And yeah, it's going to be really short time and spicy indeed. Zach, I don't know about you, but I like it hot. I love the racing we're seeing out of this group of drivers on our Wednesday night freaky fast broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We still have 2 laps of racing in which anything can happen. And right now, looks like we are going 1-2 green. It's going to be 3 to go, getting gridded up, see if anything else happens before the end of these 3 laps. So, Zach, buckle up. I'm glad I'm here, up here with you and not down there, because I do not want to be in the position of that 21.
Yeah, I'm nervous for him, man. This is going to be very, very interesting nonetheless to say. He's going to have his 2 teammates on the bottom lane there with him taking this outside groove once more. Ooh, man, oh, man, this is setting up to be quite the finish, people. And the difference on tires, very, very huge. Remember, a 28-lap difference from Buzzio to Nigel Christensen here, and the rest of the field behind him. So Buzzio's got the world against him here. Let's see if he can do it, Carl.
Well, we're going to see how far teamwork gets you here at Gateway, because that's all a bunch of teammates up there. Once again, 2 on the inside, 1 on the outside. And will they allow him to take that run with those older tires? We will find out. But as they bunch up, getting ready for the green flag, getting to the restart zone, away the 21 goes. In fact, Mason Houseman in the 78 had a great restart as well. He's going to break up that 2018 team chain up there at the front, taking second away from Nigel Christensen. But he's going to get to the bumper of the 21 and get out of it just a little bit. But there he is at the inside. Oh, the 20 is going to get hit by the 77 down the backstretch. We say clean and green, but there's a the 17 on the inside, going to take it pretty wide with 78, trying to use those newer tires to make the pass on the 21, and here we go. 17 to Gavin Rogers, taking over the 3rd position.
Here they come out of 4. They're going to look up to the flag stand. It's going to be the freaky fast white flag here, folks. 1 lap to go here at Gateway. It's going to be Buzzy on the outside. He led that lap, but Rogers in the 17. He's going to look to pounce. He's dominated here tonight, and he's going to make the move here to take second.
17, Gavin Rogers taking that 2nd place, but Mason Houseman, road course winner at Watkins Glen, is in the lead. Buzzio trying to take it. Oh, the 17, they're going to bunch up. 78's going to get spun around. The 17's going to take it. 19, Stephen Forbell taking the inside line and may steal this win. 17 in the 2nd, Buzzio in 3rd, and there it is. Checkered flag as they're wrecking down the front straightaway. Huge hit by the 7, but the winner here, the 19, Stephen Forbell. What a wild finish here for the Wicked Racing League.
Man, oh man, 200 laps to get to that, and that was definitely a special finish. And ooh, I think going to be some angry folks, going to be some questions, and man, I tell you what, that's going for it there in the last corner. And Stephen Forbell, what a job by him, man. Congrats to him getting that first victory of the season here.
Congrats on that victory for that number 19. And that teamwork, he started that inside 2nd row, was able to keep it low, avoid all of that chaos on that last lap, and taking that checkered flag. And Zach, he was spun around. He had damage first stage. And here he comes, spin and win for the number 19.
What a job by him. Like you said, spin and win. And man, I mean, yeah, just a heavy hit to the inside wall earlier. Just a great job by that driver there. That 19 misses the last incident and comes home with this victory. Congrats to him, though, man.
Congrats to him. But ladies and gentlemen, you can hear from him here in a little bit. I promised that we'd bring our top 3, and I will deliver. But first, we are going to take a break. I need to catch my breath. I need to get a drink. We will be back shortly and interview our top 3 finishers. And welcome back, race fans. We just witnessed an electric finish, just absolutely demolition, almost derby finish for the win. And the top three survivors, I promised I'd bring you, and I have brought you. The first one up, the number 21 of Adam Buzzio. Adam, it is Carl and Zach up in the booth. You had a great strategy until those cautions. Everyone else took tires. Take us through trying to defend off those newer tires and having that run you did at the end.
Yeah, man. Everything was good there until those last two yellows. We actually had pace. I mean, we were one of the cars to beat all night, and even with the tires, those guys were having a hard time getting around me. By the time the last restart happened, though, I just, they were too worn out. Things got boggled up there too, so just couldn't hold them off there at the end.
Definitely an unfortunate ending there for you, man, Adam. I tell you, it was a great run though tonight for yourself. Like you said, I feel like you were a car to beat tonight on the long runs, really closing it down to that 17 who led a lot of the laps tonight. Take us through that because you close it down, but how tough was it to actually get there and try to make something happen?
It was tough. I mean, I was able to run him down. It's something that I talked to the guys earlier tonight about being mindful of. Just the cars get really aero tight here. And I don't mean within, like a couple feet, about a half a car length, you start really feeling the dirty air from them. So it got difficult there to really make a pass, but it seemed like every time I got within striking distance, a yellow would come out anyway. I think there was only one time there where I was really, really frustrated about not being able to get around him. Every other time, it just seemed like, for whatever reason, caution would come out. So,
Yeah, those cautions were definitely creating chaos. All these restarts, everyone getting bunched together. But next week, we kind of stretch our legs a little bit, head to Kansas, a good, nice mile and a half. You guys have been pretty strong all year around. Can we expect to see you in the top three again next week?
you will not see me next week because I am getting married. So I will not be I will not be here next week racing. But my admin staff will be taking care of everything. I'll leave it in their capable hands. It would have been nice to get that win, man. I'm happy with the podium. I'm disappointed with the way that turned out. I wish we could have just got those last 10 laps in there.
Well, that would have been a great wedding present, but sometimes it just can't turn out that way. But Adam, congratulations on a third place finish, and congratulations on the wedding. Good luck and have fun.
Yeah, guys, I appreciate it. Real quick, just want to give a quick shout out to Rev for doing race control, to you guys doing the broadcast up there. You do a great job for us. We appreciate it. I want to thank Buttkicker, Idealise and Trivista. Thank my teammates. I think we had it there at the end, man. I think we could add a 1, 2, 3 there, but it's all good. We'll try to get them there to get them at Bristol Dirt, I guess.
Yes, sir. We have plenty of schedule to go. We do look and hope to talk to you again shortly.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
And that was third place, Adam Buzzio, getting married. Congratulations for him. So he's going to miss next week at Kansas. And Zach, Kansas is one of those tracks next week that could be kind of a wild card. I mean, as if anything hasn't been a wild card, but as a mile and a half, we've done 2 milers, we've done 1 milers, mile and a quarter super speedways. But Kansas next week is going to be very, very interesting. But right now, we still have to talk to our top 2 finishers, and the next one up is Gavin Rogers. Gavin, it is Carl and Zach in the booth talking to you. Another second place finish 2 weeks in a row. Man, what would keep you out of the podium position at this point?
I know. That was unexpected, coming with P2. First, I want to apologize to Mason, running into him at the end there. I had no intention on running into him, but I looked at the replay also. Adam ran into me when I was running into Mason. I locked up. I was trying to go up the track to not hit him. So that was, I guess, yeah, sure, that was my fault. But it was a crazy race. Proud of myself for pretty much dominating the first 2 stages and part of the final stage, and then getting hit by Alex kind of messed things up, and all hell broke loose there. That
That it definitely did, Gavin. Man, I tell you what a drive back up this second though, and yeah, like like Carl was saying, 2 in a row, but it's actually 3 in a row now. Second place finishes coming off those 2 in a row wins. I mean, man, you're on quite the roll. You started the season with a 3rd place finish, and you haven't been off the podium. We head to Kansas next week. Do you think you can kind of continue this same thing because the 17's been up there every week?
Yeah, I feel more confident in Kansas. I think mile and a half, all the bigger tracks are my strong suits. Maybe the shorter tracks are. I haven't been able to tell because I haven't done many of the bigger tracks yet. But I mean, I feel confidence as always. But we'll see how it goes.
Well, we look forward to seeing that next week. Before we get that far, anyone you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah. First off, my sponsors, Printed Pieces, Jet Set Magazines, and Sundance Pizza. Um, Shout out to Nigel Christensen. I know he's a little bit upset at me tonight, but I mean, I was all the way up against the curb in turn 3, and he was right down on me. So I mean, I have nothing else to say from that. But shout out to my parents, my grandparents, my aunts, uncles, cousins, my great grandfather. This is his actual first time watching this race live, so I'm glad he was able to watch. Wish it didn't end that way, but I'll be sure to do better next time. And shout out to my karting teammates, Gio and David. Gio did pretty good tonight too.
Definitely good to hear and love the feedback. And until next time, next week, Kansas, good luck and have fun.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
And that was Gavin Rogers on a tear, as Zach pointed out. Hasn't finished lower than 3rd, and that is quite an achievement for these cars, being able to keep out in front, especially with all the different types of tracks we've run. I mentioned it, Dover, Michigan, Daytona, Watkins, Glen. The 17 cannot be beat. But except tonight, he did get beat by the 19 of Stephen Borbell. And in fact, I think we actually getting him in here momentarily and not too soon. Here it is, Stephen Borbell. Stephen, Carl, and Zach in the booth. Congratulations on the win. Take us through that last restart and that just chaos that unfolded in front of you.
How's it going, guys? So that last restart, I came into this race not expecting anything. I really do not like this track. Any flat track, I just don't get along with. I didn't practice at all this week, and I knew I didn't have speed, so I wasn't looking forward to it. But going in that last restart, I'm thinking just help Adam, because I know he had the pace all race. And being my teammate, just wanted to help him out as much as I could. And going into 3 and 4 that last time, luckily they all got together and I had enough room to go underneath. And it just works out like that sometimes, thankfully.
That it does, Steven. And I tell you what, congrats, man, on the win. You know, it's been a up and down season for you. You've had some good runs, some good moments, and some bad finishes too that have had unfortunate luck with, man. But right there, the seas parting for you there, making it through it, and getting your first lap led of the season, and then getting the win. How does that feel? Because now that's got to take a lot of pressure off your back heading into the rest of these weeks, especially with the track you didn't expect to get a win at.
Exactly. You said it right there, Zach. It feels great, especially at a track I didn't think I had a chance at. Going into next week at Kansas, I feel a lot better at mile and a half and stuff like that. So, I mean, anyone in this league can win any race it shows, and hopefully we can just keep it going.
Definitely want to keep that momentum going. Kansas next week. But before we get to that, your race win, who do you want to call out tonight to help you celebrate that?
I mean, I have a lot of people I do want to call out. I will say I have a whole text group with about 20 people that watch my races and support me. Obviously, first, my girlfriend, Addison, my dad, my 2 sisters, Sean, Alec, Becca, Nina, Josh, Peyton, Mr. and Mrs. Jordan, Thomas, Olivia, Logan, Rod, Kesha. I don't know who else I'm forgetting. I know I'm forgetting more people, and I'm sorry. But all of y'all who support me, I appreciate it. And my teammates, Adam, Blaine, and Nigel for helping me out there.
Well, you named off more names than I could have, so congratulations there. But also congratulations on the win. Looking forward to hopefully talking to you next week.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Take it easy.
There you have it, folks. Like you said, this league is kind of anyone's game. Even if you don't like the track, you still have a shot. And there it was. He saw it and he took it. Zach, we had a lot of racing, a lot of cautions. probably more than a few hurt feelings. This may translate into next week, but for this week, Stephen Borbell, Gavin Rogers, and Adam Buzzy are going to round out the podium. Mason Houseman with a strong run in 4th, starting 12th. Jamie Plord in 5th position. Nigel Christensen in 6th. Jimmy Kubanek in 7th position. Giovanni Perez D'Amico recovering to a 9th, 8th place finish. Chad Bean in 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is Alex Coffey. A lot of cars had some issues later on in that second to last run. Richard Wolsifer found himself mired again. Steve T. Cole actually finished on the lead lap after having a couple incidents, so good for him. Johnny Shade not quite making it. TJ Roberts having that jump start and getting that EOL, and that was just bad timing on that. And Zach, we have a lot of racing to go still in this series, but Kansas next week. How much of this week do you think will transfer over?
It could, man. Gateway is this place where some feelings could transfer over, and I know there was a lot of contact from drivers, and it definitely was very, very one of those things that it's common here. It's going to happen. It's always just something that happens at that track, that you kind of have one racing group, and it's a shorter style track. It's still long in length size, but it's a short track the way it races. So not surprised if a lot of feelings carry over into that Kansas race. It's going to be fun to see, no doubt, man. And I'll take a comment from somebody made out in chat. I think it was pretty cool. It was wicked awesome tonight, Derek, especially with that finish. I know Mason Hossman, our winner from Watkins Glen, he probably didn't think it was too wicked awesome. But unfortunately, that's sometimes how it ends in racing, man. So you got to take your cap, tip it to the guys, and move on to the next race and see how you can figure it on out, because you definitely got a long season here ahead of them still, and you don't want to be making too many enemies just from simple mistakes.
Yeah, you definitely want to cut down on those mistakes, and because it is a long season, a lot of stuff going on. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to miss a thing of all the things us at Freaky Fast have got going on, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We are on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, we're on it. You can find us there. And we have racing almost every day of the week. Monday, ISRC Truck Series. Tuesday, Full Send. Thursday, Stars and Stripes. Saturday, the WSSR Cup Series. So we have a lot going on here at a lot of stuff going on at Freaky Fast, a ton going on. We've seen so many different shorts. In fact, I know Robert, our producer, is working his magic right now, clipping some things. I think he's even started a TikTok, believe it or not, Zach. So what do you think about this, our presence getting out there a little bit more?
Oh, it's so awesome, man. I mean, you get great racing like tonight. It gives you the opportunity to have the content to put out there. So it's a pleasure, really, to be up here in the booth calling all this action here at Freaky Fest. Here are these leagues that we have 6 nights a week. So it's just a pleasure, man. Gateway here tonight was wild. I mean, we had 200 laps. It was a very, very long race. Took a lot of endurance. I think got a lot of these drivers, and you saw a lot of mixing up there in really that last half quarter of that race. So it really went really, really crazy. So it's going to be a fun time. And with the races we have coming up, we got tomorrow night. It's going to be a very fun time. I'm telling you what, you don't want to miss out, because Stars and Stripes always puts on a show, just as we seen here tonight with the Wicked Racing League, and they're going to be at that Nashville Super Speedway. So that track, very fun indeed. And then Saturday night at the WSSR Cup Series, we're going to be heading to to Le Mans, and yeah, that sounds crazy, but 24 hours of Le Mans, that track is going to be very, very fun. But we're only doing it for 1 hour. It's not going to be 24, so you ain't got to worry about that. Only got to tune in for 1 hour. But I'm going to tell you, you're going to get a little sneak preview of the Gen 7 Cup car on this track that you'll see in 2023 coming up. So it's fun stuff. So folks, don't miss it there. We're off on Sunday night, and then we're back on Monday. So lots of stuff coming, Carl. It's a fun time to be here at Freaky Fast.
Fun time indeed. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we always have fun. We'll call on these races for you, getting out, interacting with our fans. So leave a comment and don't be afraid to say hi. But until next time, stay safe, Stay strong and keep it freaky fast.